All right, welcome to an Old World Exploration Special Live Edition. Here we are. I've got a few friends joining me today. We're going to be taking a look at the post-Cataclysm world that we live in. We've got Mark from Melted Reality. Mark, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me, Chris. It's great to be back. Thank you.
We've got Ashley from Freya.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, and I see a couple folks in the chat, a couple seasoned melt heads for sure. I don't consider myself seasoned, but I consider myself a student of meltology, and I consider you guys more professors probably than I am, but maybe I'm being a little bit too humble and modest because I've been into it for a while.
Yeah, you are.
You know me, I'm a student.
Yeah, we're all students still.
Well, you're right. You're right. Yeah, for sure. Let's look at the chat here. A couple people, couple familiar faces for sure. We'll get a couple on there. There's Kathy. Hamster Wheel. Mr. Beast fan.
Mr. Beast.
Right on. I'll show a couple more before we get into the content. We've got juicy content as usual. We like to dig up those nuggets for people to enjoy and to ponder on. In the chat, guys, let me know if the music's too loud for you, if it's intrusive on the conversation, and I'll turn it down a little bit. It's hard for me to tell. Okay. We're trying to keep up with it here. Hey guys, thanks for being here today. All right, we have a couple files we're going to share. We're going to talk about, I guess, what we think happened and what we're looking at in the modern day here. What's left, right?
Yeah.
You guys, anything to say before we get going?
No, happy to be here.
We might have a couple others joining us, I hope. Again, with the keen eye, the eagle eye crew. All right. It's an interesting field of study, this, where meltology, right? The post-cataclysm world. This is my file I've got here in the background, and I just want to talk about what I'm seeing. I think I can recognize the melt for the most part, and again, what happened to these buildings, we're not sure, but we can speculate, and we do speculate, and hopefully, when we put our heads together, we can get a little closer to the truth. That's why we're here today.
Yes, for sure.
All right, you guys keep an eye on the chat too while I'm working with my pictures. Sometimes hard to do both, so
Yeah.
if you see a comment that's worth sharing, we'll get it on there.
All right.
I don't see the chat. I don't know how to do that.
No worries. Mark's got it then.
Yeah. It's on the right-hand side of your screen, Ashley. If you see it, it says private chat, and then it will say comments. And just hit comment.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay. Fancy.
So starting with a castle in Germany, and they saw fit to build upon a rock cliff here, it looks like. Am I getting that wrong? What do you think?
Or a rocky outpost.
Yeah, just make sure you put it right there on the rock.
Right there. Build it. Blend the seams right into the cliff.
Yeah, camouflage it.
Always interesting too. You can see the red around the openings here. You can see it back there too as well. Some of the red bricks some of them don't get touched, do they? Or hardly get touched. Oh, we have another guest. This is a first for me. Let me
it's on.
Hi.
Right on, right on.
Are we live or are we pre-recording? What are we doing here?
Oh, we're live. We're hanging.
Oh, hey, Mark. How you doing?
Fine. Good. How you doing?
Good. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining. Is this Jen, Truth Seeker?
That's right.
Hey, I'm a fan. My name's Chris.
Chris, nice to meet you. I've heard a lot about you, and I just recently started checking out your stuff on your channel, and I'm really grateful to have the privilege to be on here with you guys today.
Well, it's good to have you. It's good to have you. It looks like I lost my background. There's my green screen for all you guys out there.
Oh, that's nice. I like that, Mel.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
We're starting with my file. I was not such a gracious host, I suppose, and I jumped the gun and threw my file out there first.
It's so common. We see these, like the mountains, or it's like a big tower mountain with right on top. We've got a little pocket. It's a beautiful building.
And what's the story, right? What they'll tell us that was built up there for defensive purposes. They decided to build on the rocky outcropping up top.
Or for religious reasons.
Yeah, it's always some monks.
Always monks.
There's nothing better to do. But think about it. If this is for defensive purposes, I mean, by the time they get done building this thing, whatever defenses they needed against probably is gone. You know?
Yeah, that's true. The war would have come and gone several times over, wouldn't it?
Right. And then in this picture here, you can really see how the heat was moving upward. You can see, you can almost imagine it chewing right up that castle until it stopped right there. Some the heat away.
Yeah. It stopped short, didn't it? And then we've seen so many mountains that didn't stop short, right? That are just mountain without any evidence of what we call man-made, I suppose, on top. Right?
Yeah. Oh, wow.
We're in Germany here.
Jeez, look at it. It's the whole thing. The whole thing.
Right? Don't you love it when they build the arch on the old cliffs and they manage to bridge the gap?
Yeah.
It's like
it all makes sense now. You know, I mean, what makes more sense is these people with rudimentary tools and horse and buggies, if they even had that, made this stuff, or that the whole thing was the structure already pre-existing.
Right? Yeah. It's actually quite obvious when you decide to look, isn't it?
It's another level of awareness. We're living above the veil of consciousness now, and we can see through all the deceptions and see things for what they really are.
Yeah, well said. Yeah. But it's a choice, isn't it? You have to make a choice. Yeah.
Yeah, just like flat Earth. I mean, you have to make a conscious choice to look at it. And, you know, in my opinion, once you see it, you cannot unsee it. There's nothing to go back to. There is no globe. It's nothing but one big lie. Geology is one big lie based on the globe model. So there's nothing to go back to. These are not natural. They did not take millions of years to form. And nobody carved out janky windows and doors.
Yeah, we have way better answers than geology for sure.
Right.
By the Royal Societies, right? Of the 1800s.
Yeah.
Thanks for laying out our reality, boys, but we're taking it back. Right? Yeah. Definitely a 90-degree corner here. You can even see the openings along the edge. And they tucked it in underneath the ledge up here, apparently.
Tucked it in.
Tucked it in under there, and they had to ascribe that last row of whatever this wall was made of just to make it fit perfectly, right?
Yes.
It is fun to try to explain it in the terms that we've been given. You know, you can
find a new language for this research to try to. I know we sound a little crazy when we're describing this stuff to people. I know what I sound like, but at the end of the day, once you can see it, doesn't sound so crazy. what sounds crazy is millions of years of sedimentary layers piling up in specific locations and all this stuff. That's crazy.
Yeah, they're desperately trying to make it fit into the box for history that they've given us, right?
Mom, I saw you.
Wow.
With red ice cream.
Well,
We never thought about it before. When we saw stuff like this before we were awakened to meltology, it was like they built it like this. Oh, and it looks like this because it's older and it's all muffed up from being weathered and aged and stuff like that. But now we find out that the more muffed up it is, it's just the more damage that was to that location. And these people didn't build like this. I mean, it's ridiculous to think that they built like this.
All the different varieties of bricks, and they're bubbling out up on the top, and then down here on the left we've got actual bricks, and you have the blocks. It's just ridiculous. Like it's not like a beautiful challenge. They're like, oh, I have this really great idea. Let's make this really challenging, complex structure so we can impress. Like this is
right.
This wasn't built with intention to look like this.
Exactly.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't impress. If that's the intention, it looks like a mess.
Yeah.
Right. I like these ones. You see these actually, even North America, and the buildings that still stand, not just North America, but where the edge of the block is still at a 90-degree face, but like a marshmallow, it's starting to pillow out from the center out. Right.
Yeah.
And the more you see of these blocks everywhere, compare them. It's all internal bricks, or they were.
Yeah.
So easy to see.
Yeah, well, you can see it here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they seem to have brick and then an exterior molding as well, and that gets heated into the brick when the heat's happening, and it kind of gets all melted together.
Like a polymer, yeah. I'm just gonna let the cat in.
Wow, look at that. I'm
This
up
is
there building that.
actually, I want to show the viewers here how I find a lot of these. Really simple process, actually. If I pull up just a search here, and I go to World Map, Google World Map. I want to thank Google for all the open and free information we get.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Yeah. So when I first started getting into this, and we talked about Joachim, and hopefully he'll join us here, but I started searching for myself after watching these videos. And this was my main way of doing it. I just zone in on a region. The one we were just looking at was in this area, the Vos du Nord. I did do a video on it about a year ago. Got a cat bugging me here too, so. And as you zoom in, you get closer to these regions, and people have, I think, deposited pictures. I think that's what's going on here on this Google Maps. And then I would just look at the pictures people shared and find these. There's that pillowing again, that brick pillowing, right?
Yeah.
And then I would follow regions and veins of melt.
That is great right there. Look at that.
Yeah. This area is ridiculous. This park, this Vos du Nord park in Germany, France. Right.
Okay.
It's crazy too. There are so many of these. The fact that like a group of us could get on a live stream and all bring tons of images, and it's all different pictures. I mean, it's never ending. It's the gift that keeps giving with this research.
It's great. It was a realm-wide cataclysm that took place. I think it's cyclical in nature. I think that this reality that we're in has an expiration date. It has a beginning and an end. And throughout the beginning and the end, there's ebbs and flows of cataclysms that take place. We call it, God's judgment, X Factor event, short season of Satan, if you will. These types of things that caused all this. Look at that thing. Wow.
Look at that one.
Yeah. So it's critical for them to hide this from us for some reason.
So
it's important for us not to know.
with the flat Earth. They hid God's creation from us, telling us we're on a spinning ball hurtling through ever-expanding space and we're insignificant, when that's completely not the truth. It's flat and stationary, and we are the center of everything. So there's that. So what else are they hiding of God? God's judgment. They don't want you to know God's creation and God's judgment, and they're hiding it by putting geology and historical and archaeological narratives over this and adding hundreds of millions of years to all of it.
Yeah, exactly. Deception, the great deception, is much deeper than we realized, I think.
Way deeper.
Yeah, wait, you're right. And then we're really just scratching the surface with this stuff, right? But,
Oh yeah.
it wasn't a pun about the underground, but there's definitely a whole underground to all of this as well. I love this one because we got a couple different stages in one, right? It's completely illogical to assume that these were built this way, but this was built this way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, or repaired. They, sometimes they'll say like it was repaired later. It's just, it's easy. They just can make up a narrative to try to disguise what we're seeing, but it still falls short because once you see it, it just all makes sense. It falls into place. It makes far more sense than all their narratives.
Absolutely, I agree.
Yeah, we end up doing serious mental gymnastics to try to make it fit into that model that they gave us, rather than seeing what's really there.
And this stuff has been in front of our eyes this whole time. We walk past this kind of stuff every day in our daily lives. It's always been there, and we just couldn't see it before because we were under that veil of perception deception.
Yeah, exactly.
Same with the buildings, with the intact old world buildings. People just take for granted. It's really bizarre. They just don't notice.
Don't you feel like you have a bit of a fire in your belly once you become awake to this? It's like unstoppable,
Yeah, you feel compelled to talk about it and show people that are willing to to listen and look. You're just very compelled.
Yeah, and things like this is a really good example because you have so many different levels of heat differentials going on here, and now we can better explain what we're seeing, because this is not weathering. This is not, because it's old or ancient or something like that. Something happened here.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we see buildings sometimes that are 800 years old that they'll say that are completely intact and pristine. So you can't just attribute that to time.
Yeah.
This one's interesting. That's wood right there. This piece of the door. Very interesting.
Yeah, I'd say a lot of times you'll find, not a lot of times, but often you'll find little pieces of wood throughout all this melt, and I think that's some kind of hint as to the behavior of whatever force it was, that moved through here, was able, or the behavior of like the bricks were probably conductive or whatever, where the wood probably wasn't, and so that's why it got, well, the wood, it seems like, wood, if you can melt brick, wood is not going to survive that, but it was a different kind of heat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like a microwave or some kind of frequency.
Right.
Yeah, a passive material. The wood would have been a passive material to the electricity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that one.
Oh, that thing is mangled. What are those melted steps?
I was going to say, there's some melted steps, Jen. Who's building melted steps, right, Jen?
Right? Who's building melted steps?
That's Jen's, famous quote. Yeah. Look at this, eh?
I love how all the naysayers who, get triggered by the melt. But yet the flat earthers, and they have no idea or have anything to say about volcanoes.
Or they just don't know, and they don't know anything about volcanoes. Like the geology is made so boring that most people don't give a shit. Same with space and NASA. Like every day they're supposedly discovering all this shit in space, and you would think that would be exciting, but instead they make it super duper boring. Like their videos are boring, and so everyone just I guess they're doing all that shit, so that means it's real, but I'm not going to look into it because it's boring.
Yeah.
The same with volcanoes and geology. people don't even know what the actual narrative is.
Yeah, you're going to defer to the experts. It's so boring. You're going to defer to the experts.
Yeah.
And then you fall asleep and don't care about it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Turn on the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they want. All right. This is interesting. Mixed mediums, eh?
That's interesting.
Nice black bricks.
Yeah. Little herringbone detail in there just to show off the skills of the builders.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right.
That's really cool. That kind of brickwork. I love that.
Mhm.
None of this is simple in any way.
Right.
It's even when you're looking at a mangled building like this, there's nothing simple about the construction process at all.
No.
Yeah, and like those alternating blocks, the big blocks.
Yeah.
Like, again, I think that tells us. I don't think they built it with those big blocks, or if they did, they don't look the way they would have originally looked because they're not consistent. They're not, they're not the same size. They're all different. Some are rounded, some are longer. But again, I think that tells us something about the behavior of this event, that it affected all these patterns. Just interesting. Like,
Yeah, nodal points maybe in certain areas, high energy nodal points where more of the electricity accumulated in that area rather than other areas, or along strips too. Right?
Yep. Well, also because I think a lot of this stuff was built out on the ley line energy, and each building is a component on this grid system, like you would have in your computer board. So each one has a functionality. Most of these buildings were not meant to be lived in. They're components on the grid system. And I think a lot of the cathedrals may have had some kind of surge protection built into them or whatever, because we don't see very many cathedrals that have a lot of heat damage or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But depending on where you are on the grid system when this event took place, that would probably dictate the type of damage that you're going to get.
Yeah, and some place probably received very little damage, other than maybe a mud flow of water.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, and that one you're on right now, you can actually still see the brick in the blob pattern.
Here.
Brick lines. Yeah, right where you're.
Absolutely.
And you can follow those lines right over into the brick, so they're not sedimentary. I mean, when you can follow the lines right over into the brick layers,
Mm-hmm.
It's just wow.
It's absolutely absurd when you put it under the microscope.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it makes sense now why they had to come up with geology in the 1800s and start teaching this to people, because they were going to have to explain all this stuff.
Yeah. Well, they were relying on that veil of perception that they had over us for sure, and they just gave us really silly and bare bones backstories, it seems.
Yeah, just like with children. I mean, you can, like my son, we tell him about Santa Claus, which I think is kind of cruel. And he's just like, really? And it's like, you can tell he's like, no, that doesn't make any sense though. But then he's like, well, mom and dad are telling me that. They're the authority. They did the same damn thing with geology and the globe and space and the rest of it. I think our natural default is very naive and trusting, which tells me, that's why I tend to think it was some kind of outsider force or some kind of corruption, sabotage, something took place, because we're naturally pretty naive and trusting. So it's very easy to exploit that and make people believe these crazy ideas that don't make any damn sense.
Yeah, we're loving creatures. They're exploiting that as a weakness, but it's not.
Very trusting and loving. It's easy to take us over, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, keep going here. Most of these in Europe. I'm going to jump over to India pretty quick here.
Wow, that is crazy right there. Look at that.
I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're right. It is everywhere. It's absolutely everywhere. Now,
Well,
where's the
there's got
logic?
new stuff to find too, because they're digging it up every day.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, and you hear the stories of like the Amazon jungle's been lidared, and they're finding civilizations and cities underneath the jungle. It's like, well, I think you'll find that everywhere you look.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
that's that pillowing. That's still quite intact and looking like it's possibly that it was laid that way, but no, this is a part of the heat damage, right? This bulging rock with the nicely faced edges, you know.
Yeah.
Trying to fathom how they would have milled up these stones or blocks if we're going to go with that narrative, and to say, okay, well, they were just smoothing the edges, they left the body of that rough for that look. The amount of work that would have taken is very difficult, again, to wrap your head around, especially for the technology that they were supposed to have had at the time. So the mental gymnastics kick in.
You know, there was not a lot of brick makers back in the 1800s, and it was really, really hard to transport bricks. And any time before.
Well, they're not a light building material.
Yeah.
There's a reason we don't use them as much today. Cumbersome.
And the bricks that we make today are not meant to last. And when we did a video where we were showing the strength of bricks from the 1800s compared to the bricks that we use now, I mean, there's really no comparison. The bricks from the 1800s are super strong.
Yeah, there's a huge difference, isn't there? Yeah, I've seen those studies. This is India now. And you can see the rock, what we might call a rock face here, and then the block work in behind here. I'll jump ahead here. Actually, I like this one too. I think this is a great example of what conventional geology would call man-made and natural right here, right next to each other.
This is where the geologists and the archaeologists slam into each other.
We're like, oh, they saw this natural arch and they decided to repeat that here.
Right.
Is that what they'll tell us?
I have a video clip of a geologist who is admitting that one of the mountains are man-made, the whole thing.
Well, did they lose their license?
I don't know, but yeah, definitely he saw what the other scientists couldn't see, and that the whole thing was man-made.
I have to wonder how many experts have gone through that awakening and ridicule and shame and backing away from their field, but kept silent about it over the years. I bet you that's a thing. Yeah.
I mean, just imagine your whole life, spending your whole life on anything, and then especially something like that that's just a theory, and then you're seeing something. I mean, that's going to affect you. Either you're just going to push it away and make fun of it, or you're just going to kind of go out the distance and do something else.
Yeah, and just renounce it all and not risk ridicule, but ignore it for the rest of your days.
Oh, that would be torture.
Yeah, I couldn't do that. I don't care what it was.
Yeah, same.
Well, that's when you get out of the field of geology and you start your own field of study and start putting it out, because we have to let go of these mainstream authority figures, the ones with the PhDs next to their names and stuff like that, which PhD means piled high and deep, in my opinion. You know, and branch out on our own and do this research. Somebody was asking me before about, oh, well, we got to do this and that, and we have to do it this way, because when mainstream comes along and they hear about this, I don't care about mainstream. I don't want mainstream anywhere near this. We know what mainstream does. We know what they're all about. And all they would do is try to take what we've already accomplished and researched out and put their own spin on it and try to discredit us. And just, people will follow along with that because they're still ingrained in and entrenched in that fear, that feeling, that thought of that these are the authority. And, because we're just conditioned that way, indoctrinated since we're children going to the schools and stuff. They know what's going on. They're the experts, and this is what we're being taught and told about this stuff.
Jen, you're absolutely right. I will never seek validation in those circles.
Right.
That is their circles. That's where they want us, in those boxes or circles. Right? Never going to happen. India. So I want to share with you some of these forts I've found in India.
Wow.
And they do call them forts. The Jarabarhar Fort or whatever it might be. You can see it on top here.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I'll show you a couple of really good ones. I don't want to hog all the airtime here today, so
Wow.
I'll go for 15, 20 more, and I'll hand it over to one of you guys. Let me get to India since I was talking
That
about
alternating brick rock is those are powerful. That kind of evidence.
Can we stay? Let's stay on this picture for a second, because there's so many people out there who just cannot comprehend the fact that brick can turn into regular old janky rock, but yet there it is. It's right there. You can't miss it.
in the different colors here too. White, right? We've got some black, and the red, of course. Yeah. It's quite clear. Let's be honest. It's quite clear.
Yeah.
Doesn't take much.
You know, the people who don't understand the transition from brick to janky looking rock don't understand the heat differentials, and they're not looking into it the way we are and researching it out and studying it. They just want to come in, get a quick answer, poo-poo all over your answer, and move on. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this is exhaustive. This is deep stuff. Like, you have to get right into it and explore the options. It's not something you're going to put a quick label on and move on. You know, they're hiding the Cataclysm from us. That's exactly what it is.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, 100%. You know why they're hiding it? Because they don't want us to understand that it could happen again, and it is going to happen again, guys. It's coming. These are cyclical, and we are at the end of one of those cycles. We call it right now the short season of Satan, and at the end of this short season, from what my research is showing me, there's going to be a final X Factor event, a final God's judgment, a final cataclysm.
Well, if it does happen, at least we'll know how in the last seconds. I'll be down.
I think we're able to affect it by becoming
Yes.
aware of it.
Yes,
And I think that's
absolutely.
fine.
Chapu has an idea, and he's in the chat here, that we do have a direct connection to this X Factor event. If humanity is elevated spiritually and we're living in a good place mentally and spiritually, I don't think God's judgment is as severe as what we would see in all these locations.
And well, maybe it's dimensional as well. Maybe there's a third dimensional judgment. Maybe there's a fifth dimensional judgment. Maybe it happens in different forms. Are we going through a splitting right now of our consciousness? Like we said, there's a choice involved here, right? And there is a risk to the choice. There's ridicule. There's alienation. All these things are risks to choosing to step outside and become that outsider, not follow the herd.
That's why you should be in the world but not of it, because when you are of the world, those types of things will affect you because you're of the world. You want to be accepted by the world and stuff. When you stand on truth and you see the truth and you speak the truth, then nothing can stop you, nothing can hurt you or harm you in any kind of way, any kind of ridicule.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow.
Quite obvious here, eh?
Yeah.
Sedimentary layers just forming melted building.
Yeah. I think that's Spain. And it really doesn't matter. I do try to tell people where these are, but it really doesn't matter. And Joachim hammered that home too, right? It's everywhere.
It is everywhere. And yes, absolutely. Because, a lot of people are like, well, where's this location? You didn't say where that was. It doesn't matter where it is at this point. We're advanced into this research. Just pick a location yourself and check it out. It doesn't matter. You're going to find melt.
Yeah.
And it's fun. Once you get the eye for it, man, it's like a treasure hunt.
Yeah.
It is.
Are those figures in the top of that?
Here?
Yeah, it's just interesting looking.
Wow.
It is.
Yeah, and you can see them melted into the,
No, they're carved that way,
down.
Ashley.
Yeah.
They're carved that way.
They didn't quite finish.
Yeah.
Oh, man. India. Just really spectacular. So a few of these forts.
And we have the evidence from the biblical scripture. God melted the earth with fervent heat. He melted cities. He melted the inhabitants. I mean, it's all right there. And they're using the word melt to describe this fervent heat and stuff.
Yep, it's there. You're right. It is there. And I guess they have the Vedas in India as well. And I don't know how any of these texts have been altered down through time or for us, but there are definitely seeds of truth running through these sacred
Well, you
texts.
can find it in the Quran as well. The Quran talks about the cities that God has destroyed. It talks about, Sodom and Gomorrah, of course, and how these pockets of survival that we're pointing out to people were left on purpose. So we are to remember what happens with this cataclysm and to live righteously so we don't have to go through this again. You know what I mean? So it's there for us to see if you have the eyes to see it, if we have not been, indoctrinated with that veil of perception, deception over us. And to me, it makes perfect sense why they're hiding all this stuff. They just don't want you to know. They just don't want you to. And then the dinosaur thing. There's that. That little mess.
Space and dinosaurs. If you're a little boy, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, they found one little section of toe, and it's like, but are you sure this is what it looks like? Or are you sure? They create a whole. It's just
Or why
Much
are we
more
finding that just now? These bones. I mean, they're supposed to be millions of years old, and they're just digging them up in the 1800s or whatever. It's just
Well,
totally
I
ridiculous.
think last time we chatted, Mark, I think I mentioned that the Discovery Channel or whatever it was with David Attenborough had a feature on dinosaurs with skin still on them, and it coincided with the launch of Jurassic World, the movie.
Yeah.
It's like,
Skin still on it, millions of years old, right?
come on, guys. Come on,
Yeah.
guys.
Somebody here saying, how about mountain giant faces? Some look like real giants.
Yeah.
I admit that some of them do look like giants. I was on the whole giant bandwagon. I was on the tree stump bandwagon for a while. And then I did a deeper dive into stuff. And when you're starting to find brick and structure in these locations, then, it can't be a giant or a tree stump. I'm not saying there aren't ones out there. I just have not come across any myself.
Let's go around
and
table
then-
here.
Yeah.
Ashley, what say you? Where are you at on that?
I think there were definitely big people. I think we were a lot bigger. But the whole like giants that are mountain size, I haven't seen any evidence of that. I have seen where, the form, like there's one where it's, I think it's in, anyway, it's a big snowy place. I can't remember now. But from above, it looks just like a woman in fetal position. You can see her breast, her whole body, and she looks like she's laying in a fetal position. Now that one, I've only seen images of that, so I haven't been able to debunk that one. But based off the pattern I've seen, just like Jen was saying, it turns out that you'll see bricks. So it's like, oh, it was a giant made of bricks, or a tree made of bricks. It's like, no, it's just the same thing we see over and over and over. You still have archways, all the different features that you see. So, but at first with the giant stuff, I thought it was interesting. I thought the tree stuff was interesting, but it never, once I, like the melt stuff just instantly was like, aha, I see it. That makes total sense. This other stuff is like, maybe that could be it, I don't know. So.
And, Freya, the truth, the way it resonates with you, when the truth takes hold of you and you can see it, it resonates in a way that nothing else does.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't need any more proof to know that we're right about this. I don't know, exactly when it happened or exactly the mechanisms behind what caused happen, but you can see it. It's right there. And when you're in line with truth, you flow with it and it flows to you, and there's just no denying it. People want to say we're crazy, we're making all this stuff up, we're misleading people and all this stuff. I can't see how people can't see it at this point. If you have an open mind and you can wrap your head around flat earth, how can you not see this melt that we're pointing out? Thousands of hours of live streams from all of us across the board showing all this amazing evidence. And
yeah, I mean, for me too, like you were saying, Jen, I started out looking at the Titan stuff and the tree stump stuff it was about a month, but I just got tired of it, and they weren't coinciding. And then I looked around, and to this day, I do think they were. I mean, they're big trees now. So yes, they were big trees. There was big everything, and it just got mixed up in the melt. But I personally haven't seen this huge tree that's transformed. All I'm finding is bricks and wood and stuff too mixed in it, but nothing solid. The whole mountain side, whatever, every mountainside I go to, I'm just finding structure. And there was probably huge statues, all of that. So,
Yeah.
but then you can say, okay, well, yeah, that's probably a statue. But like I said, I haven't found that yet, so I can't say yes. But everything was mixed in, and there was big everything. That's all I can say on that, I guess.
To quote a great man, it's all just melted buildings. That's where, I mean, Michelle Gibson gets into the trees pretty hard, and I respect her and her work greatly. And the Titans are interesting, and some of those shapes are interesting. But what I'm seeing is post-Cataclysm structures for the most part. And like you said, they're interesting to entertain the other ideas, but this is something I can really wrap my head around and sink my teeth in.
Right. At the end of the day, though, we can agree that it's not what the geologists are telling us. So
Exactly.
Instead of bickering amongst ourselves here, like, oh, is it a tree? Is it a building? Is it a giant? Okay, well, let's find common ground here. The common ground is we know that whatever the geologists are saying, it's not that. So.
That's a good starting point, isn't it, Jen?
Yeah, because all this bickering and arguing, I mean, stay in your lane, do your thing. I respect that your opinion. You can respect my opinion. We both know that the geologists are lying to us about all this stuff. So, you bring your proofs on your channel, and I just keep, we all just keep bringing our truths on our channels and stuff. And, people will decide what's right for them. I mean, for me, it's all melted buildings, basically. And yeah, all mountains are melted buildings.
Looks like brick right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Iran, this one. I know, Mark, you looked into Iran a little bit recently.
Oh yeah, that Iran is nuts. Yeah, that moth channel too, man. He goes everywhere. I don't know how much around him it is, but man, or he travels, but he puts up some good stuff. Yeah.
Check this one out.
Wow, look at that. Who's gonna build like that?
It's not possible. This is the game changer. It's a narrative buster right here.
That's
Narrative buster.
I like that narrative buster.
I'll show you a couple more, and then I'll hand it off to one of you guys. This is India again. So this is a nice look out into the valley, and you can tell we're looking at structures all in the valley here. Looking from one structure into other ones.
Yeah, and look at on either side of this wall here, you can see all these wavy things going through the rock, brick, whatever. It's heat striations.
Yeah. Interesting looking block too in that region. Just a little bit melty, that one, eh? All right, a couple more from India. I just want to share. I'm really kind of blown away by this area. You can see the wall ridge here built into the landscape, and then the meltiness below it. All covered in green, of course, right? Very fertile in that area. You know, it makes me wonder about nature itself. What is nature itself? What we think of as Mother Nature and nature, and what was it originally? Was it all manicured, and we were the caretakers, right? We are the caretakers.
Yeah, I think it was very manicured and perfect, just like the buildings were.
Yep.
The water, everything running through the buildings, and the vegetation, trees, everything was perfect.
I think it was optimal. Everything was optimal. Everything was living up to the potential of whatever it was capable of, and fulfilling that. Nothing, with all the distractions that they keep us in, where we're working 9 to 5 and we're focused on this, focused on that. I mean, there's tons and tons of shit. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And there's no time for your brain. Basically, you can't be optimal. We're just all sluggishly. So we think, oh, it's someone else's place, or this isn't our realm. I think that maybe is something they're hiding about the old world, is that whenever we're optimal, we can create this beautiful harmony that's our natural state. Anyway, ramble.
Great.
But it was, what we think of as natural and nature's beauty is starting to look more and more to me like chaotic, cataclysmic results. Yeah. And I think it was a much more,
a beautiful disaster.
Yeah.
I guess.
Look at this one.
That's amazing. Look at that. Wow.
All right, Germany, I think again. So much. It doesn't matter where you look. You know that this is all just me scrolling around on that Google Maps and saving pictures. That's all it is.
Well, all I know is that the powers that be who run the show and give us all our narratives, they know this stuff. I'm convinced that they know all about it.
Yeah, I think it being initiated at a certain level, let's say, gives you access to this knowledge, and with that knowledge, they've been using it as a power against our perception, I think, and that's how they get these high positions in our society. That's what I think.
And now that we understand that everything was made of brick, this whole Freemason thing makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
The Freemasons.
Yeah, the illusion is wearing thin. Okay, who wants to go next? Should I pick as the host? Or are you eeny meeny?
Rock, paper, scissors.
I actually had how about Battleship? My 7-year-old likes to play Battleship.
I miss the electronic Battleship. I don't even think you can find them anymore.
Oh yeah, maybe. How about Ashley? We'll go.
I'm good. Let me grab my daughter a little snack though, because she's starting to get a little busy.
Sure. Yeah, do that. I just love this India. The way the blocks turned into these types of blocks. It's like incredible.
Yeah.
Oh, I did want to share. This was in Sicily, and I'm sure the narrative will tell us that these were big stones. But you can see right here that they're
brick.
Whoops, right?
Yeah.
And you can also see it on the column in some, maybe not in this one. I have one nearby too. The eagle eyes might pick out the bricks like there.
Yeah, on the right one, yep.
Yeah. And you can see them really well in the columns in Pompeii. They had a coating over these columns. Now there are columns that aren't brick inside. I will admit that, but a lot of the columns and a lot of these locations, you can see the coating coming off and the brick underneath.
I've seen that also in Southeast Asia, Thailand, Laos area. I've seen that where the polymer is starting to peel off. Are you ready to go, Ashley?
Sure. Let me get my. Oh, go ahead.
No, it's all good. It's yours.
Let's see. How do I do the screen share again?
Present.
Present. Yeah.
Oh, present. Yeah.
Then you'll have to hit entire screen.
Okay. Let's see. Share screen. And let's see. Choose it to share. Oh, entire screen. There we go. And what's this? No. Oh, okay. There we go. I got it. Can you see it?
Yep, coming up.
Okay. All right. Can y'all see it? Is that working?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So just more of the same with the variety of the bricks. I can just kind of go through.
Oh.
Wow.
Look down there. Like, what the hell?
I mean, somebody needs to make it make sense. And I think meltology makes complete sense of all this stuff.
Yeah, because we see it over and over and over. You know, it's like, look at this top. It just looks like somebody mashed a bunch of clay putty, but there's some bricks still intact.
Wow.
This one, I've got a whole file on Mexico City. It's because they just found this like tower with all these skulls and all this crazy shit and this. Anyway, but whenever I was looking it up, I saved this one because look at this old world in the background.
Yeah.
Like that's Mexico, you know. But yeah, all this stuff up here.
Wow.
And whenever you start looking, some of them will look. You know, some of them will still be a red brick. I think that one's looking a little.
Oh yeah, a lot of this stuff they say was built with volcanic rock, like Teotihuacan, the Pyramid of the Sun, and all that. They say, oh, it's volcanic rock that it's built with. But you just zoomed in here, and I saw a red brick, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
And
No. Right?
Wow, that is just amazing.
Yeah, whenever you have like brick on the bottom and brick on the top. Hold on. Hold on. Sorry, no, Freya. I don't know what she did. Okay. This is at Camp Verde in Arizona. And I just put out a little short video today about that. But they say, which most of y'all might already know about Camp Verde, anyway, but they say that it's carved, that they carve some of these passages and caves, and that some are natural, and that there's also masonry.
Yeah.
Like
all carving right here. We're going to put brick in here. All right, continue carving.
Yeah. I mean, just ridiculous. I mean, look here. You can see this transition over here. I mean, it just smooths on out, you know.
And what will they tell us about this, according to the conventional historical narrative?
This is Camp Verde in Arizona, and they say that there were like 3 different Indian groups over 300. This whole big massive mountain took like 300 years from start to finish for them to do all this shit. The ones they know about, I mean, they're still discovering little pockets everywhere. But anyway, so yeah, they say that they carved some of the areas are carved, and they carved tunnels and carved openings and all this stuff, carved walls, and that some are natural, just natural caves that they, I guess, incorporated. And then they also built with brick, limestone, and cobblestone.
Cobblestone. Don't even get me started on cobblestone.
That's some serious mental gymnastics, though, to make it all fit.
Let me tell you, if they had cobblestone, why would they? Okay, and if you have horse and buggy, you're not going to put down cobblestone and have your cart go bouncing down the road on cobblestone. Okay, everybody else has brick. Your sidewalks are brick. Your buildings are brick. Why isn't your street not brick? And you can see still in a lot of locations, like in England and stuff, perfect brick streets.
Yeah.
You can still see their
cobblestone is
brick
just
lines
brick
here.
that's gotten worn out and worked out.
Yeah. So this is in Mexico, also in Mexico City, and yeah. So they found, basically they were doing some work on a hotel there, and the ground kind of fell out, and we hear these kind of stories a lot. And then they discovered there was part of this Aztec. They're calling it an Aztec basketball court.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I've got another picture of the same site, and you can see straight up red brick, like very easily.
No matter how far down they go, they always find structure.
I know, right?
Wow.
And this one, you know, they say this is carved, that all this is carved, but why would they also carve all these areas and this underside and these little holes? I mean, this bit up here. Like,
Wow.
and this, you can see where this was brick lines and still here, kind of, you know.
That's amazing, that one. Where's that? Do you know?
It's in it's called Besikli cave. Besikli cave. Oh, this I just saved. I couldn't remember, it's still in this folder, but this tree is supposed to be 1,000 years old. This is in Israel. But I just thought it was interesting because there's ruins around this and under it. So just knowing the age of the tree, what they're saying, it's 1,000 years. Just trying to figure out the timeline issues. You know what I mean?
Definitely the tree came after, though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can see over there.
Yeah, I agree with that statement you just had on.
Yeah.
I had a big bone of contention with somebody who was just really bashing me over the cobblestone thing. I mean, cobblestones do not exist. They never existed. It's all worked out brick. Nobody's going to build a road like that, but yet have perfect brick sidewalks and perfect brick houses. And you're going to put out rounded, janky river stones that they call cobblestones on the ground for your cart to go bouncing down. I mean, it doesn't make sense. You got to make
maybe
it make sense.
Maybe it's the wheel builders in the community decided to use cobblestone so they could keep their business running.
You have
What do
to
you think?
replace them all the time. Yeah.
A good business plan.
Hey, can you hear me?
Hey, pants
Can you
on the
hear me?
ground. Yeah.
Pants
we
Oh,
can.
on.
sweet. That's good. Okay, continue.
Oh,
I have some
hi.
stuff to share as well. Hey, Chris,
Right
thanks
on.
for having me.
Thanks for being here. Loving your content, buddy. Loving it.
Yeah.
I got some evidence here to share, so continue. I'm
Okay.
loving it.
Hey, Pants.
Hey, Freya. Hey, Mark. Jen.
Hi.
So this is that one we saw earlier, but it's in the Czech Republic. I just wanted to point it out because I had it on the file name on this picture. I usually save the file with a name that, so I can remember where it's at. This is in France, but you can see over here on the side it just oozing. These are my favorite type of examples. That's like this, big jagged boulder.
Under the wall there, you can see the brick popping out. See where the coating's coming up the wall? And you
Yeah,
can see
right
brick.
here.
There you
Uh-huh.
go. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and there's also some. Let's see. I think I found some. I mean, it comes all the way down here. There's this wall.
Oh, wow. All the way
This
down.
wall, all the way down here. Yeah, you can see like this bit here that looks like concrete. Like that's more damaged, and then this bit is even more damaged. And you can see the windows here are normal size. Here they're getting a little bit smaller. Here they're tiny, tiny slits, and you get the arrow slits they always talk about. And see down here, there's even more slits, but you can see the slits are getting smaller as they go down where the damage got. There's more expansion,
Yeah.
I love these examples too.
Oh my gosh.
Monastery. It's a monastery.
Yeah, yeah. This is in Serbia, and that's what they say.
Only the devoutly religious could build that way.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it's done. You can see brick lines in that section. Faint, very faint brick lines. Here. This is Delphi.
Wow.
Wouldn't it be fun to do a world tour?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Get an
Yeah.
airship, get the dirigible out, right? Bring the families and go around the world checking out the melted evidence.
Oh man.
Yeah, I think in the old world they did that too, but they were checking out all the beauty,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This is in Edinburgh. But this one, the quality isn't that good, but I just kept it in here because you can see how this is still an archway and how it's spilling out, down here. And then this rock here on the cliff wall is the same color and the forms look very similar to here, to what we see here.
Yes.
So,
Wow.
Love it.
I mean, you would never do that.
yeah, they go all the way up over here.
Yeah.
There's a little section of wall there. Like you can't even access that shit. Look over here.
Yeah, wow.
You like it? This one, these are like sneaky at first.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
They're so swallowed up that you don't even really see them. Sorry, I'm moving it so much, guys. I'm just naturally,
No.
whenever I look at
It's
this stuff,
fine.
I'm zooming in and moving. Okay.
But look,
Yeah,
as you go up the side of that thing, if you go back, if you go up, up there, there's all those little arch things sticking out. Look at that.
Yeah.
I think
that's
this is in
really-
France. I think I know this one. Yeah.
Yes, this is in France. It's Fort de Tourneau. I don't know how to speak French, but
I think when I found this, I had my jaw on the floor for a couple days, and this was a big one for having me wake up to this.
yeah, it's crazy looking.
Wow.
Oh,
This
Look
looks
at
like
that.
it looks like melted plastic. How plastic will like curl back
Yeah.
and like bubble
Yeah.
onto itself.
yeah.
Isn't that
Or like a
nuts?
cigarette ash. It's a cigarette that needs to be ashed.
Like, yeah,
The granny
Well-
cigarette.
So
Yeah.
cool.
it's on
Wow.
this other side too, and it's coming up here too. So these were all part of it.
Yep.
this really speaks to the realm-wide reset. How all these cultures that we think of as ancient cultures have been reset as well, and they're living on the evidence of the cataclysm, and don't even know it.
Yeah, because they just know their own local stories about this, this crazy building that's on top of this mountain, and they're not aware that these are actually pretty common. That it's not unique just to them.
Yeah, sacred sites, but plentiful. Yeah.
This one is very subtle.
Wow.
Like you can see on the, it's just like little dabbles of a hint, but then you can tell it's a wall though. That's crazy. It's very, very subtle.
Wow.
Oh, I love this. Wow.
Look right here with this where it's turned white.
Yep.
And it's the inside, and the same here. You can see it's the thickness, the depth, the inside that it cooked from the inside out, not just bottom up, but the inside out. And you can tell that in this and examples.
Yeah,
like this.
the opposite of a steak, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
If you're cooking a steak, would it be red on the inside? Well, it's red on the outside.
Yeah.
Right? That's interesting.
Yeah.
Thick walls too, right? Like how many thick walls would they be?
Yeah, thick with brick.
Yeah, thick. I think it seems that the thickness is played part to its function, which also I think they were preparing for some cataclysm. It seems. This is at Edinburgh Castle, and this is supposed to be volcanic plug damage. I guess you could say, but it's like
volcanoes.
Yeah, and it looks like the volcano came after the building was built.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh, here's the one. That's the one from Mexico again. I guess I'll point out the brick. I was gonna see if y'all could see it, but it's kind of over here. Look at that whole wall section there is red brick. So this is the Aztec basketball court that they just discovered under the ground at a motel in Mexico City.
What do you mean Aztec basketball court?
Or a Mayan basketball court. It's
like
they have they say that they have these huge grand games, which of course ended in somebody dying. But basically, they throw this heavy ass ball back and forth, and on some of their walls they'll have like a big stone circle, and they say those stone circles was where they would throw the balls through, and it was just like this big grand game that would end in death.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I've never heard of that actually.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mayan basketball.
Sounds a bit far-fetched to me.
I think so too.
Yeah, it does.
This one's real subtle. It's you almost don't see it at first.
Wow.
Another one of those.
They always got us chasing the ball. Yeah.
Yeah, look, there's a little pocket right here.
Yeah, right.
They crawled down here and I guess sanded out this little zone, carved it out, and built a little wall there, a little brick wall.
That's the in-law suite.
Yeah.
Yeah, the in-law suite. Yeah.
Right.
Very necessary to put that there.
Yeah. This one probably all of y'all have seen a million times, but it's just such a good picture of it.
Yeah.
And look, there's this little section here. It's like going inside the opening here.
Wow.
And you can see the brick here, but then it's pouring down and becoming this here.
Mm-hmm.
And there's more shit down here that they can go in and out of.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
Like this is massive. And there's another one of these rock formations next to this one further back. I have a picture where you can see both of them. There's this one here, and then there's another one.
Yeah. The monasteries in Greece, right?
Mm-hmm.
Meteora? Yeah.
Yeah, I believe so.
Those are a good gateway to people just getting into this as well, I think.
Yeah,
Is this
that.
so mind-boggling?
Yeah, this is in France. But why in the world would you build an arch like this rocky boulder? And what? Oh, so this
Certainly
one
looks
is,
post-Cataclysm, right?
yeah, this is at the same location. And look up here. To me, it looks like you can see the line, the layers of the building and how it's coming down, spilling down this way, folding down the hill and pouring down. And then you still have this here that's intact, somewhat intact. Sorry, my phone's ringing.
The CIA.
Do what?
It's the CIA.
You better run. You better run, Ashley. You're down in Texas, right?
Or Cappadocia. That's another good one.
Gateway one to get people into it. Yeah.
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 Oh, wow.
Look at that, eh?
That's a good one.
It sure looks melted. This does not look carved.
No, it doesn't.
Another one here just showing how the inside is more cooked, the internals of the walls.
Yeah, look how the arch has that slipped? Or is that a lower arch that's gone? That's interesting.
Sure it is.
Yeah, I think that's what it looks like to me. It slipped. It almost looks like maybe it was supposed to go on this side.
Yes, it does. That's weird. Wow.
It is weird.
It is weird, yeah. This one's Georgia, right? The monks carved this one out.
It's like Vardzia, V-A-R-D-Z-I-A, Vardzia. Yeah, in Georgia.
A devout sect.
There's some of your melted steps, Jen.
Yep. There's carving melted steps. Somebody make it make sense.
More of them. Those are melted too.
Very melted looking.
And there are the official melted steps. I think that's the last. Yeah, that's my last slide.
And they'll tell us this is from wear and tear over 1,000 years, but I think we know now that that's drooping.
Yeah, there's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, imagine you can't even imagine the amount of footsteps and that you would have to go over and over and over to do such a thing to stone. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Were people
It would
skipping
never
steps
happen.
here? There's a couple that don't have it.
Why don't the steps on the subways look like that? Okay,
Yeah.
why don't the steps
Right.
on the Capitol building and all this stuff look like that? It's just another bullshit narrative.
Yeah,
That's
totally.
the Star Fort I went to. That's one of the narratives on some steps there. All just so many troops went over it.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
what? It's melted.
Yeah, that's
But if
funny.
you don't know any better, you'll buy that narrative and it'll
Yeah.
get tucked away in the back of your head and that's it.
So how do I just close this
I
out?
can-
How do I get over?
I can take it off. You want me to take it off? Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Hey, Pants, you wanna show us what you got?
Yeah, give me a moment here. I'll get in position, and I got some things to show you here. Give me about like 5
Yeah.
minutes, maybe. Okay.
Cool.
Well, I can show you something for that 5 minutes if
Bring
you
it.
want. It's a video that I have made up using like AI technology where there's somebody else that talks instead of me. Because I don't think I can put together a really good, well-spoken kind of mini documentary or anything. So I use the program, but I put all the information in and stuff. So let me present real quick, and it's about Petra. Because they tell us Petra was carved, and I don't buy that narrative. That's bullshit. Nobody's carving melted buildings and melted steps all over the place. These Nabateans and stuff. So, well, this is what I got for Petra.
Okay.
Play this real quick.
There we go.
Have you ever wondered how the city of
Oh, are you saying something?
No, it's all you. Sorry.
Okay, all right. Just wanted to make sure. So there's no copyright for this or anything because this is my video. Just here we go.
Have you ever wondered how the city of Petra was built? The rose-red city, half as old as time, stands as a testament to human ingenuity and the unfathomable mysteries of our past. But what if the accepted narrative of its creation is not entirely accurate? What if Petra wasn't painstakingly carved, but rather it was melted into existence? Yes, you heard it right, melted. The conventional understanding is that Petra, this magnificent city, was carved by the Nabateans. Yet a new perspective is emerging, one that challenges this long-standing belief. It suggests that Petra was not chiseled out of rock, but was, in fact, melted by an extreme heat event with temperatures exceeding 9,000 degrees. It's a radical notion, something straight out of a science fiction novel. But is it? Upon closer inspection of the buildings, the amphitheater, and the surrounding features of the land, a different story begins to unfold. The structures appear to have endured wide-scale devastation, as if they had melted like wax in the fervent heat. It's as though an X-Factor event, a cataclysm of unimaginable proportions, had swept across the city, forever altering its landscape. Enter the world of meltology. This is the study and exploration of melted structures, a field that seeks to understand the unorthodox origins of Petra and other similar sites. It's an exciting new frontier in archaeology, one that could rewrite our understanding of human history and the Earth's past. One of the intriguing aspects of this theory is the term mountain. In the context of Petra, mountain seems to have no standardized geological meaning. Could this be another indication that the city was not carved but rather molded by the searing heat? To summarize, the theory suggests that Petra, the rose-red city, wasn't carved out of the rock by the Nabateans. Instead, it was shaped by an extreme heat event, a cataclysmic occurrence that melted the structures into their current form. The signs of this event are visible in the buildings, the amphitheater, and the land itself, which all bear the scars of this intense heat. In the world of meltology, the term mountain is redefined, further supporting the notion of Petra as a melted city. It's a radical theory, but one that offers a fresh perspective on this ancient city's origins. So the next time you marvel at the grandeur of Petra, remember that its creation might not be the result of human hands chiseling away at the rock. Instead, envision a city shaped by the unimaginable heat, a city that was not carved, but melted. Petra, the melted city, stands as a testament to the mysteries of our past, waiting to be unraveled.
So there you have it.
That's awesome.
And
You made that?
Yeah.
That was great. I really like that.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, they supposedly carved that amphitheater, the half amphitheater, whatever, Coliseum. And it's, if you look at it closely, all of us have, but they're all the same, the ones that are built, say, in Rome or wherever. So, I mean, they carved it exactly like the ones they built somewhere else. It's just stupid.
Yeah, and they carved it, melted with the
Yeah,
melted.
there's no sense.
Apparently that was a thing.
Yeah.
Oh man.
All right, Pants, you ready to rock?
Sir. So we're in the city of Minneapolis here. Can you see me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This here is the top of a building. This here is a power plant used today, and it was the plant in the past as well. It was a hydroelectric plant. The Mississippi is right here. Here's an aqueduct in the distance here. The Stone Arch Bridge. This is the top of a building here. And let's go around the side here and take a look at the side of it. And there's some bricks down here in a canal I'd like to share with the audience here that I think you might find interesting, out of place. So why don't we just take a quick look at this building here. The sun's going down here, so let's try to quickly see what we can see. We're at Riverfront Regional Park in Minneapolis, just alongside of the river here. So this building here, let's get down closer. Now, folks who know me have seen this site before, but it's a great site to get started on because it's a mess of brick, and they're melted bricks. Here's the structure, absolutely obliterated. It's supposed to be an 1800 structure, ruins, 1800 mill ruins. The mills are up here, and these are supposed to be associated with the ruins, but you can see here This place is an absolute mess. And these are all red bricks. They've all come together here. Can you see this?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes.
They're all red bricks. So you look up here, there's a wall up here remaining, coming out of it still. All this brick here. Let's get down in there. I can show you that quick. I think, is the light okay? Can you see all right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
looking
we see
good,
good.
man.
Why don't we just take a look at the transition of brick melting over into limestone? All the masonry here, this was a canal, came off the river, and it went right into underneath the city. Street level's up there, street level's up above me here. Now look at the bricks, made of bricks here. Now let's follow these bricks from here. Let's follow them. Now look at this girder here, this beam, like spaghetti noodles here hanging. Now what could have caused that? I mean, it's rusting away, yes, but this was damaged. And look at the bricks here. What have they done? They've come together as one. It's burnt, it's hot, it's molten. All this here, they were bricks too. They've all blocked up here in the same limestone material you see underneath here. The same limestone. It's a lime invasion is what happens under high heat. The lime in the mortar here invades all of the bricks and it creates a new material when cooled, limestone. But you can see they're all bricks in here, but they've turned to this gray limestone material. They've been smoked. Up here, they're red. They're all red, going yellow, going gray. All together as one here. You can't make them out. It gets better though. They're on the ground everywhere. And we walk this way. The whole place is just absolutely crashed in ruins from the 1800s. You buy that? No way. That's too much. Just sitting out here, eh? No. So we're gonna come along this way. And I'm walking on top of a wall that divided this canal here that went into the city right there. And there's more canals that go off that way. But over here's where it's interesting. So you see the build out here. Street level's way up there. Good old folk walking up here. Okay. And all this is build out. Archways, build out. They're not limestone blocks. I'll show you what the limestone is made of, or what causes limestone. Limestone is a condition of brick. I'll show you that condition here. The bricks on the ground everywhere where they ought not belong. Wow. It's all part of the construction here. It's crashed in ruins. I was pulling out tons of bricks with stamps out of here. I can pull more out. They're all lodged in here and they're coming out with stamps on them. There's a stamp on them right here. From all over the joint. I have St. Louis, Roman numerals, all different types. And they're all coming from the same melted wall here. They melted out.
Wow.
They all crashed. They're sliding down, eh? Yes, they were. It's all hot and melted. They're stuck. And down here, it's been ashified into ash. And they're coming down loose. It gets better, though. We come this way. And I lost my stick. We don't need it. Canal came off the river into the structure under the city. Under the boats came in here, and these aren't melted bricks, eh? These aren't muffed up. What happened here? What are these? A repair? You might say. How about that? One brick for repair in a huge crack, crashing down, dangerous wall. It's crashing down. And why they're repairing one brick down here? For what? The wall is crashing. It's ready to come down. Why? Why that one brick there? There's more of them everywhere. But you can see the transition of these bricks. They're hot.
Just a fantastic shot right there, man.
Yeah.
They're not entire bricks. But hang on a second. It gets better. It gets better and better. I'm all hung up here. Hang on. So we come a bit wet here, but not bad. Okay, so right here, can you follow the course of these bricks here? See they're hiding back here. Wow. There's just a few of them. But you can see you can run the course and you can see that they're still there. the lines of mortar. They're still running their course, but they've completely turned to limestone. These are unnecessary repairs here, and they're all damaged and melted. Look at the mortar condition, bleeding out over the bricks.
Wow.
It's bleeding out. It's bled over, and this stuff is hard. This stuff is it's ashy hard, and it's went into the brick. It's hot. You know what a hot surface looks like? Hot surface, the brick, or the rest of the brick. It's not eroded. It's sharp. This is sharp stuff. It's not eroded. See, it's just damaged. It's heat damaged. Over here, look at this part here. Look at the mortar condition of it. It's not a repair. Look at the mortar and look at the bricks. The mortar is hot. It should never be hot. You can see it was hot. You see this was hot. It shouldn't have been hot. They were hot, baby. Over here. Yeah, and see the wall here. Where's the wall? It's on the ground. You thought it was limestone, right? All limestone all the way through. Limestone there, all the way through limestone, right? Well, this came down before this all fully cooked out. And it shows you what it was before it all turned to limestone. Bricks, regular bricks in rows. Now, why would there be a section of wall that was just limestone, brick, and then limestone again? No, we see the limestone, it's brick. There's bricks hanging out. Up over here. Is that a repair right there? Those 3 bricks up there. Is that a repair, really? For what? There's nothing on that side behind there. It's just a wall. There's nothing behind here. For what? It's already cracked. Why did they fix this hole then? If they fix that, why did they fix this? It's those questions we ask. Doesn't make any sense. You know, it's all heat damage. And if you look down at the bottom here, where was it? At the base here of the canal, you can see very limestoned out, but you can see that there are bricks. But there's some sharp angled ones here somewhere. And all of these are bricks in here. So, but right at the base somewhere, there's still some pretty straight ones running their course. Or maybe it's a different kind of, yeah, right here.
It's a gold mine, man.
Yeah.
It's all bricks in here. And there's one with a stamp right here. And you can see that they're all coming off the wall. There's a stamped brick here. They're coming off the wall. Nobody threw all these damaged and melted half bricks. They threw them out here for nothing. They're all burnt. That's a brick with a stamp. And it's burnt. It's not just weather. These were heat damaged. All of them were They're all expanded out and heat damaged, melted.
Oh, yeah.
It's not erosion. Here, I'll show you a vitrified surface quick, and I'll let you guys go. There's a brick over here. That's a good example. Sorry. No, it's that sucker. You really see the vitrified surface on it. What you see in here? You see that there's heat differential. These are the colors of heat. You see this color here? That's what I'm talking about. We're seeing high heat conditions, and we shouldn't be. These bricks are all hot. They were all red, and they're not any longer.
Wow.
And yeah, there's a mess. It's just a mess in here of bricks, and I just thought I want to share this with you.
Yeah.
They're definitely melted bricks, and it's a huge mess. They turned to limestone. I can show you one more example here, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Yeah, it's
Amazing.
awesome that you're showing this because, like Jen has pointed out before, everybody always says like, "Oh, y'all just didn't look at pictures," which I do mostly because I don't have this kind of stuff. Like, it's so awesome that you're showing this in person,
Oh yeah,
live.
yeah. It's quite doing it.
Pants on the ground. This is a treat, man. This is a treat.
Live boots on the ground.
Yeah.
It's all bricks on the ground. Yeah, I was pulling bricks out over here from my last video. They're all still laying here. Every one of them a brick. Every one of these is a brick in the ground here. It don't matter where you pull them out. They're all going to be bricks. That's a bit frozen, but they're all bricks. They're all the same bricks. And pulling them out everywhere.
Wow.
They're all bricks. Stuck in the... All of them are. Right over here, there's one more thing I'll show you. See, they're all bricks.
Yep.
Stuck in here. Okay. Again, here's the construct. There's more canals on that side. There's this one. There's one over there, and 2 more over there actually, and this in the river that way. And right here where Mark showed sparked my interest. I sent him a photograph of this girder right here, beam girder. That was strange. I thought, hey, the mortar has melted right into this brick.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, this doesn't look like it's hot. It don't look right. And I've never seen, bricks being constructed inside of a girder like this. So I thought that was strange, I'm looking around here. There's a seam here in the structure.
Wow.
This here, believe it or not, was red brick as well. The limestone here, we saw this is what that is. And the bricks, they're all still in there, jammed and stuck and melted.
Wow.
The red bricks. These ones don't have stamps, but they're all damaged, and they're all stuck in there. Inside of this part of the wall that looks like limestone mess, but it's really just churned up pieces of brick, which turned to limestone, gray and yellow limestone. This is what this is. There's a piece of wood in there, and it melted over, so you can't get it out. So that was in there before the event. It's been melted over it. I can't get it out. I tried.
Wow.
So over here you can see the melting. The bricks have melted into the metal. See?
Nice.
Over here, the mortar is bleeding down. So that's what I have for you. Minneapolis.
Wow.
We got melted bricks here for certain. So
Mind blowing.
I love you guys.
Buddy.
It's awesome.
Love you too.
Yeah.
Mind blowing.
Incredible, man. Incredible.
What a treat. Wow.
Yeah, that's a boom baby moment right there.
Totally.
You like apples? Well, how you like them apples?
Yeah.
Yep.
I agree.
Great
Yeah,
stuff.
totally.
Great
Pants
stuff,
on the
man.
ground, man. Been binging his content and just can't get it off. My kids are loving the commentary. It's just meatballs and potatoes, baby.
Meatballs. Yeah, we don't build with that stuff. We don't build with that. No. Try taking a sack of potatoes and try to build a wall with it and see how far you get, It won't be easy.
Your
Someone-
approach is very confident, and I love that about you, Pants.
Someone named Thomas earlier in the chat asked if any of us have tried to use heat to transition a brick into rock. And I have to say, I do not have access to that level of heat. So, but we can show examples of it across the board with all of our research. I mean, it's apparent and evident that it has happened.
Yeah, I don't think we need to justify much of that. It's just use your eyes, really.
Yeah.
Right.
Do we need to set up an experiment for people? We
Exactly.
could, I mean, but I'm not doing that.
Well, you're talking over 6,000 degrees. I don't have the capability to do something like that. So,
No.
Right. Yeah. We're just normal folk out here. We don't have those kind of machines if they exist or whatever. It just, eyes and ears, and go out there and look, and you'll find it.
I mean, It doesn't take that much brain power to see that even in Pompeii, you have a perfect brick wall, three walls that are brick, and the fourth wall is janky, weird rock with brick in it.
Mm-hmm.
Logically speaking, deductive reasoning would have you conclude that wall, the fourth wall, was also brick.
Yeah, just pattern recognition. You're just using pattern recognition.
Unfiltered, right? We're trying to do our best to keep that filter off our perception. Yeah. Mark, you got
Yes.
some visuals for us?
Maybe.
Come on, please.
Yeah.
Pretty please.
Yeah, the first few picks are just which y'all have done a great job of just elementaries, showing what we're seeing, and then I've just got some older stuff of mine. I'll just go through some video that I edited. let's see here. Let's see. All right. I guess y'all are seeing this.
Yeah, she's all yours.
All right. This where is that button? Right down here. All right. So everything is hidden, just like this brick says, pretty much. This is a lot of these pics are some of my favorites through the years, or maybe even recently, but just showing with your eyes what's going on here. It's totally melting over this structure. Oh. I found this one actually a while back. This is in Arkansas. This is what they say is a supposed furnace, I think. I've looked it back up and I can't find it anymore. I don't know, but you can see here it's just coming down this way. A furnace wouldn't do this, but you have so many colors, different degrees of damage here. And of course, bricks everywhere. I like this one just because of the outside of what it's doing here.
Yeah.
Possible mortar looks like here. Found recently that some of this stuff where it's acting like this wavy looking stuff could be the outer covering too. It's just kind of fried off, but it's looking more like mortar here. But just the transitioning and what the internals are. More of what is changed. You have brick in the middle of this stuff, so I'm pretty sure you're not going to put boulders all in it and on top of it. But this is we don't know exactly how it happened. We can't recreate it, but it happened.
Meatballs. That looks like meatballs for sure.
This is in so a lot of these are from Chapu found from Russia.
Wow.
So you can see here the brick is just totally melting out. Here's that same shot.
Jeez.
All under it, just dripping. And they put a stupid little narrative on it about that there was a fire. Basically.
Oh, no. They're stalactites. That's what those are.
Yep.
Mel just said so.
There's some more stalactites. All brick. Just totally melted. And then here, look at this brick's doing.
Nice.
It's like plastic.
Dripping, yes. Looks like plastic. Yeah, this is one of Chapu's famous pics. It's that same place, but you can see the different melting. And up here, you're going towards the mountain look, which I'll show you a couple pics, but just totally annihilated. Man, bricks everywhere. This whole place was brick. You can see it melted. Here's a nice clear shot of this just brick oozing down, and you have half this brick is gone and melted, dripping. I mean, this is what you would call the just melting over each other, the building.
It's looking like it's going black obsidian there.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, I was going to say that too.
And like the example here, this kind of looks like what I showed just right there. Well, this is supposed to be natural here, but it's just a building. See the scope of it with this guy here, just archways everywhere, dripping. This one I like because you can zoom in here. Now this is all supposed to be natural, but it's kind of fuzzy. You can't really see it now, but there were some brick lines and stuff in this column, but we see everywhere these natural so-called arches or bridges and what have you. And this, like we see, and y'all are showing where it just runs up the building. Well, this color here, this rock, it's going up the building here, and you have gray and dark gray up here, and it's like this an electrical just surge just shooting up the building, and it just happened to stop right there and have a little pocket of survival. This is in Peru. There's another shot of this, but I can't find it anymore. It's another angle, but it's really obvious here. This is just almost a supposed mountain right here. You know, these wavy blocks, and goes all the way down this way. More of what the brick does on the internals. Still have all the mortar left over. Another 5 minutes or so in the Cataclysm, and this will be considered millions of years old probably.
Instead, they have to make up some sort of intricate narrative.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah.
Or bomb it in the 50s.
Or, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Or gunite on it.
Yeah. It's showing here the buckling, really. It looks like this whole thing is kind of buckling over. Maybe possibly it was straight up like all these were here, and that just couldn't hold the weight. Here's your bricks inside blocks. I think this is a pyramid somewhere, but it's obvious it's just these blocks are bricks. It hadn't quite turned all the way. The outer covering fried off. Of course, Petra just showing here. You have the statue, and these look like statues that are just totally melted. Just looking the feet here and what's going on here, and kind of looking the same. Just a bigger degree of damage.
Yeah, there's some melted statues there.
What's that, Jen?
There's some melted statues there.
Yeah. Yeah, there's at least, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
Looks like.
Amazing.
Who's carving melted statues?
Yeah.
Yeah. What would they tell us about this? Some sort of wind erosion, you think?
Probably.
Yeah, depending on how old they say this is. Wind erosion, I don't know. Water, wouldn't be water involved, but who knows?
Right. They just don't have it. Yeah.
This is in California. Can't remember what around
Moon Bay, maybe.
No, it's. I think this is a different one.
Wow.
Yeah,
Really?
At Santa Rosa Beach, I think. Something.
Wow, I did not know there were multiple examples of that along that California coast.
Yeah, because I've seen Moon Bay. I've seen multiple even before they ripped some of it down and after. And this is a different one, I think.
Cool. Yeah,
But,
no, I think you're right.
yeah.
It looks different now that you mention it.
But just these are columns.
And you have Crowley columns in California, Crowley Lake, California.
Oh yeah, those two.
Yeah.
I can't remember where this is at, but I got a further out shot. But it's really far up here, and who's doing that? Nobody's doing that. You can't even. I mean, what is this? Maybe one bedroom in here? I don't know. But it's just all part of the building.
Bachelor pad.
Here's the. Yeah.
Wow. Oh, wow. Look below that too.
Yeah, it's down here. Look at this.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then to the left, there's no building, but there's still wall. There's little pockets of red wall. Wow.
Look at that.
Wow.
Right there. Right there. I mean.
Wow.
Yeah, I love these shots. I can't remember who put them on Facebook, but it's all over here. It's an incredible place.
Really good.
Black staining we see everywhere.
That dripping, yeah.
Dripping.
Yeah. What do you think that is? The black? Any theories on that, folks?
Man, I really still don't know. I'm guessing some kind of rooftop, but I don't know. It's just almost like what's it? Just what we have on the roofs today, but it's probably something else.
Like a metal or a polymer or some sort of different
Yeah.
substance that.
Yeah, almost like a shingle, but it's probably wasn't shingles. I really don't know. I haven't seen anything that compare it to like a half and half. I don't know.
Yeah, but we see the evidence everywhere, don't we? That black over top of the other colors. Yeah,
and it's not weathering because I've seen them for 20, 30 years, even way before I knew, and they haven't changed as far as the blackening or whatever.
Yeah.
Just an example.
Well, what's this? A building made of janky, weird rock?
Yeah, with a little bit of brick.
I see Deb in the chat there.
What's up, Deb?
Don't know if she wants to jump in. I don't know how many spots I have and how many I can get in if she does, but would love to meet you, Deb.
You want me to jump out? I will jump out for Deb if you want.
Sure, if you don't mind. Hey.
Actually, hey, I'm sorry to interrupt. That was my son goes to Montessori school. Anyway, she just called and he's sick, so I'm gonna have to hop out and go pick him up anyway.
Okay.
I hate that he's sick and I have to leave. So if y'all were trying to make room anyway for Deb.
Okay.
Oh, I hope he feels better soon.
Yeah, I'll be well soon.
Yeah, he didn't have a temperature or anything, but he threw up yesterday, and anyway, I thought he was well enough. But so I'll just pop out if y'all are still going later. Maybe I'll see if I can jump in. But anyway, it was great. It was great to be on with all of you guys. Y'all are all awesome and good stuff. So.
Yeah, definitely great to be here with you, Ashley. I hope everything.
Yeah, love you, girl.
Be careful. Love you, Freya.
Love y'all. Thank you.
So, speaking of Deborah, this is Blue Mountains, Australia. It's one of my favorite spots as far as what I've seen. You got a few brick columns here. The scope.
We found columns like that on the sidewall of Santorini when we were doing our Santorini show, and we were zooming in on all this stuff using Google Earth, and we found columns just like that up in the side of the sidewalls of what they call Santorini caldera.
Oh wow! Look at that.
Man, look at that.
Yeah, and some reason they want to put some bricks here in between.
Gotta hold up the sedimentary layers.
Incredible place there. Wow.
Had a question in the chat. I don't know if anyone wants to answer that.
No, I'm not on Twitter.
I'm on, but I'm not on as Old World. It's a different avatar.
Wow, look at that. That's all brick.
Wow.
Yeah, just showing the brick internals here. When you see these monasteries or whatever, and have this outer covering, well, what's inside is brick, no matter how much it changed or not. But just the layers of brick is just incredible.
That's
Tons of
mind-boggling.
brick.
It really is.
The volume of brick is it's mind-boggling. Exactly.
Look at people like, how can everything be brick and all this stuff? God made man from the clay of the earth. You don't think God could have made all this from the clay of the earth? You know what I'm saying? It's
Literally.
almost to me like this plane was set up with a sub-superstructure at a baseline of brick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you there, Jen. I'm with you there.
Because it's too overwhelming. Who's making all this brick? Who's laying all this brick? Was it made manifest like we were? God manifested us from the clay of the earth.
Yeah.
That's what I like to call a money shot. Middle of nowhere example. Yes, it's melted. So, I know that's kind of stupid, but All right. The rest of this stuff is stuff from my pictures I've taken and stuff, and a little video. Just a brick here. This all right here, and they're all pretty much. You can put a magnet on them, and it sticks to this stuff. It's probably mixed with some iron too, some kind of metal. But when you zoom in close to this stuff, you can kind of see what's going on. All this is just really melted downwards.
Yeah, hot surface.
Yeah. And here's another one. These are from different places that I've been to, but just one brick, and you can see here, like you were showing, Pants, on the girders next to the iron and metal. I saw one just when you were showing it that the brick was doing this close to the metal.
Right. Yes, exactly. And that's the brick I was looking for down there when I was digging in the ash. I was looking for that. It was just like that. But yes, same thing.
Just another one. I love zooming in on these things. There's just so much going on with one brick. They're all, like I said, I put magnets on all these, and they were attracted to probably 80% of them.
Wow.
Brick and mortar.
Wow.
Is what I see.
Squeezing out.
That's what you call sedimentary bricklayers.
Come on.
This was
They're all the same size.
Give me a break.
Give me a break.
This was at the Natural Bridge in Alabama, just a part of it, and I spotted this one. It's one of the better ones I've seen as far as a brick and mortar example, or the mortar coming out.
That's squishing.
Of course, they say this is millions of years old. Just an example to the left is built supposedly in the late 1800s or whatever, and the right is supposedly 300 million years old. But you can see the brick right here. And the pebbling, you actually have pebbling over here too, faintly. But
yep.
I love that comparison, how you do that, because it's really important to illustrate the deception, right?
Yeah, it does take some time putting the two together, for me at least. I need to do it more, and I've done it a few times, but it really, instead of going back and forth to pictures, it gives you a better insight of what we're seeing. And this is a coke oven, and this is just what's behind this first layer of brick, just dripping. Say a coke oven, supposed. Another one, just vitrified, dripping. The colors on these things were just incredible. They were all different, basically, hundreds of them. Here is, let's see, this year on this one, I think 1863 or mine, they say. It's this whole big mountain building, whatever. But point here is this down here is the same as up top. I got another picture of wintertime, but this was during the summer, and you can see the internals. It's like just going rock in the middle here. And this is during the winter. I got closer to it, lots of red. You have these sticking out everywhere. But again, just like everywhere else, why are you building like this? Why would you ever? And it's on the side of this super steep hill. So,
you know what this reminds me of is some of the old World War II bunkers you see in places like Europe.
Yes. Yep.
Right. Mm-hmm. And that's what they'll tell us they were built for.
Exactly. And what were these wars actually all about? I think the wars were meant to destroy things and to give new narratives to things that they couldn't get rid of.
Yeah, and to erase the old narratives and the people that were attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Just the scope of this, what's called Natural Bridge in Alabama. So my kids down here, my wife, but this how immense this thing is, and just perfect, just straight. It goes in twice to three times the size over. So just immense. Yeah, it was funny. I was there, and I only saw three other people there. And this first guy, they were traveling around from Mississippi, and they got here, and I said, "Check." We were looking straight up at this. He walked behind me. It's like, man, what is that natural? That's the first thing. That's the first thing he said. I'm like, yeah, man. It really looks like an actual bridge. And he just kind of looked at it and shook his head. And but at least people do ask questions. But where do you go from there? You can't go anywhere else because you just don't know, because we're so
confused. Yeah.
And they
So-
call a lot of these places natural bridge too, don't they? They officially
Oh,
call
yeah.
them natural bridge. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a national park called Natural Bridges. Yep.
Yeah. So here's just some video. This first spot, I've shown it a lot on my channel and stuff, but Shelby Ironworks, 1846 to 1849 is a supposed build date. They can't send those 3 years sometime when they said it was finished. But that's the thing too. They said a part of it was destroyed, just a small section of it in the Civil War, and that's how there's some stamped bricks there that are made after these dates. So that's I think how they try to get past that part of it, where there's stamped bricks here, and the company didn't start till after this was built, supposedly. So they're showing bricks. And Jen, there's your slate. I know you've seen this tons of times, but
Yeah.
brick to slate, no proof of brick to slate.
I just want to say here too, Pants, if you're still doing boots on the ground and you find something, let me know and we'll throw you on full screen for sure. Right? Our stills can wait if you're boots on the ground. If Mark doesn't mind.
Yeah, of course not. I'll dip out
Oh,
anytime.
yeah, certainly.
Yeah.
And this is right down from that slate. You're just going brick to slate right here. It's all changed.
Love it. You love to see it, don't you?
Yes.
Now you go back, and if anybody has never looked at slate mines, seeing what we've been showing you, go look at slate mines. What are they mining? It
Right.
doesn't look like they're mining anything. It looks like they built the whole thing. Well, it was because the whole thing was a building. And what they do is they do go in and they try to mine out whatever they can out of these buildings.
And here's your, okay, so it looks like concrete on the outside. It's just outer covering. This is almost gone to dirt down the bottom here, but this is just fried and changed the brick internals to this. That's what I see.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think of this question from the chat, Old World Hamster Wheel?
The geopolymer crowd, it's all melted. Everything's melted. The coatings are melted off. Some people get stuck on this whole word game thing.
Yeah.
Call it geopolymer, call it melted, whatever. I think in some places they poured some kind of concrete polymer mix over things to hide things as well. We've seen them trying to cover stuff up like that. At the end of the day, these are all structures and they've all been X-factored. It doesn't matter, the little tidbits here and there about arguing over that stuff. I don't even engage in that kind of conversation.
Right on.
Right. Right here, you can see a little archway. Just noticed that the other day. But just amidst this whole hill was a building. Everything was
That's
brick.
crazy. It's crazy. This is
It
your backyard, basically, down.
Yeah, it's only about an hour from my house right here.
Wow.
The point here too is what the bricks have done. Like you've got perfect bricks towards the top, and these have all expanded out and become bigger. It seems like.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I did not mean to do that. It's the thing. Oh, wow. There we go. Sorry guys.
No worries.
Why is it doing this? Where's tapping? Why is it? I know what I did. It's okay.
Yeah, that is interesting. The size difference. Very interesting.
They're all just stuck on the bottom, going different directions.
You go from 4 inches to 3 inches, or whatever it might be.
Yeah,
In the
totally
thickness.
melted.
Yeah. To 2.5 inches.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And this is what's behind the 2 or 3 layers at least of brick, and you just have these huge, almost blocky looking bricks here, all different colors.
This is a great shot to show that difference in size. Like the red ones on the left, and then below the red ones on the left, you can see the size difference there.
Yeah.
And then across the way, along the top there, you can see the red one on the right, and then if you were to follow that line across, you would have the larger bricks. It doesn't make sense to have different size bricks. Yeah, exactly what you're doing.
Yeah.
As you go across like that.
So if they didn't make it like this, something caused it to get like this. That's the next not logical conclusion. If they did not create it this way on purpose, then something made it get this way. And the only thing that we've come up with to this point is extreme heat. We've showed example after example of this extreme heat event. And then also what creates these larger boulder looking stones and stuff and walls and everything, which has to go with the research that Chapu did on grain growth and sintering. On a microscopic level, you can see it happen. And if you put this on a macroscopic level, you're going to get these walls with these big boulders in them surrounded by bricks and stuff.
Yeah.
And the thing is this place here, right down, most of it's at least 3, 5, 6 brick deep, but right behind this one is looking like this. So.
Right.
Yeah.
And just a mangled mess there.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Huh.
And what I'll get into here is how this stuff's starting to look like mountain in just a minute.
And also this stuff it's solidified, stuck together. Most of it you can't even, it looks like it could break apart. You can pull a piece out, but it's all solidified and hardened together.
Yep.
Like all that there looks, like one piece shell type thing. Yeah. Wow.
Yes, that's going to be one piece. Yep.
Wow.
Here, just like showing, when I get to the other side, looks just like concrete, outer covering, whatever, but that's what's in it or underneath it attached. Just doesn't make sense on the building perspective of it. Just bricks, bricks, bricks everywhere. This whole place is kind of bent down here.
Wow. Look at that.
See all the hills. Yeah. All these little steel brick structures sticking out from it.
Just it's hard to even wrap your head around how much brick there is, everywhere. It's like, I know all of this seems crazy and outlandish, but the evidence is all around us. It's right there. You can't miss it. There has to be an explanation for all this. And this is what we're trying to figure out.
The trees aren't that old either, right?
Yeah. There's some oaks and stuff on this certain site, and yeah, they're not that old. And this place was supposed to be abandoned in 1923, just abandoned. And now it just looks like this. Whatever.
Yeah.
It looked like that before, but you can see the separation from the red brick to this stuff, and all the ground. Look at it; it's all turned up brick.
All of it.
Wow.
Red mud in there. Red mud.
Yeah. Can't get that stuff out of anything.
Wow. No.
Stains like blood almost.
Crazy. The blood of the earth, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, bricks are supercapacitors. They store energy, so it makes sense that everything was made of brick because it was a free energy grid system. I was checking out a lady's house from the 1800s. It's down here on Snow Street in Oxford. Mark, if you ever want to check it out, I'll take you over to her house. I looked around the base of her house, and there was a lot of these gray bricks. And she said that her mason who came out and did brick pointing on her house, said that those bricks in masonry are called dead bricks. Now, why would they call a brick a dead brick? What's a battery when it's dead? It's a dead battery, right?
Yeah.
What do bricks do? They store energy. When they're like that, they're dead. They can't store energy anymore.
Otherwise, they're alive.
Right. Just like this shot, because it's like a half brick just melted into all this other mess. You can just obviously see it. Here's a corner of it, and it's just gone.
Yeah.
I don't know who these guys are. There's Joachim, his lovely wife, Lindsay. Okay, so yeah, just showing all the bricks down here. It's just mangled, melted, different colors.
I mean, at this point, we don't even know where ground level is.
No.
How
No.
far down does everything go? We have no idea.
No, the melt goes underneath the water. It goes beneath our feet. We don't know where ground level is.
So here's the example. So it's all brick and it transitions into this. And then, so if you're blowing this up or just looking at this is what mountains look like. Right here.
You see that same stuff right there in Vesuvius as well.
Yeah.
Well, it seems to me the event is what defined the land masses that we know of today, right? We're talking about where ground level is. That's when ground level was created, it seems. Yeah.
And here below all this brick, you have all these little pieces. It's just, all this is melted off. You still have all this iron and stuff. It's all wrapped around some of it. This one's just going, and they're all going in different directions. But you don't.
Yes, that's the same thing. Right there, Mark. That's the same as what we were looking at in that hole that I was sticking my hand in with those bricks inside of. The bricks have turned up like that into stones like that.
Yeah.
I can see underneath there. Same thing.
Yep. This, I just like this shot. Where was this at? This was, oh yeah, Red Mountain. This was the first ore mine in Alabama, they say, 1863. But it just saw this sticking out of the mountain, and yes, you could put that there or not. But the thing is, too, is you have this up here left, but then you just flattened one, and there's nothing on the other one, and it's coming out for just whatever reason that they say. But but who knows? But I see this kind of stuff everywhere that I know for a fact that was in the Cataclysm. So
it reminds me, Mark, I think you featured Hidden Truth, some of his work. And
yes,
there was like metallic pieces like that at regular intervals along the way. If you recall.
Yes, there was like piping and stuff too coming out.
Mm-hmm. That was in Kansas, I think.
Yes, Detroit City, I think, Kansas. And here you got just bricks coming out, going sideways. I mean, it looks like rock now, but this is the same place. Mm-hmm. On a very steep hill, always.
I-beam sticking out of there.
Yeah,
like really high. Like I don't know what that would be for. This is just, of course, it's supposed to be millions of years old. Archway. They have a couple different stories. Like people dynamited it, and then it turned out to look like this. Others say it was from the water, but the water doesn't even, when it's flowing, doesn't even hit this. But just an archway there, totally rocked up.
It kind of reminds me of the melted aqueducts that Shapu was showing on our show recently. The melted aqueducts. That looks kind of like that.
Oh yeah, yeah. Man, I wish I could find one of those.
Yeah, that's crazy. The melted aqueducts. There's no denying it.
And here, this is where the tree people get a little, excited when they see it up high like this. Like, oh, that's all tree or wood. But you have straight lines here, going just straight there, and then you can see it coming down here too. But and all the archways over here to the left.
The trees don't make sense to me because when you look at the stone, the melted brick, you have lime in it. It's completely invaded by lime. And you can bring out chemicals and such to test for lime. And there shouldn't be so much lime. If it was a tree, I don't see why we see such an excess of lime. There's no explanation for that when there really is when you're speaking about melted bricks and buildings and a lime invasion causing, new materials and minerals to be created. It seems more like, that would be the case to me.
Right.
It makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah.
Because there's so much. You always find lime. If you test any of the stone here, it's going to be full of lime. It's going to be mostly limestone, the most abundant material in the realm. So that's better explained by meltology and in the study of these structures being melted than trees. Randomly producing so much lime. Where'd the lime come from? If not the mortar,
Here's just a site supposed to be 300 million years old under the ocean, and but it's just melted. It's all coming over here, and when you have pockets like in just a second that are just totally straight, but you see the red and all the brick lines to be. There's just a total melt right here to the top, and then you get going to the left, and you have stuff like this.
Oh.
Perfect.
Come on.
Straight down on both sides, just perfectly flat.
Perpendicular. There's steps down there? What are those? Oh, more brick lines.
Wow.
Could be either.
You even see a little bit of red still in there.
Yeah.
Always, yeah. The red is always present.
The tops of these things are just crazy to me. They have these sections like this here, probably almost perfect space between them, but these huge walls that you can walk through them all, and they're just perfectly straight down on both sides.
They call them slot canyons now, right? Or slots or something like that.
Yeah, that sounds accurate. What they call them. And this spot here is just melt. All this melt is there's nothing to do with erosion. That's what they'll say, but just a couple more pics. You can't unsee it.
It's true. It's true.
No.
And just that spot. I think James put this picture up a while back. Love it. Yeah, it's rock bottom. I had geologists to the resume. Don't make fun of anybody but geologists. So
Be fired.
there's two more. This is Shapu's picture, boots on the ground, and I just put this on it. Where does supposed nature end and begin? Because you have this wall, and it's just all under it is supposed to be millions of years old, and it's looking the same. It's all attached. It's one of my favorites. It's what they teach you. They teach you a dumbed down version of everything. This is what they don't teach you in here. I didn't see one big dome in high school or even college for that matter on anything. None of these buildings really. I mean, of course you have the capitals and all that kind of stuff, but they didn't really show you what they needed to show you.
No, they just tell you when they were built, America was discovered, they built the Capitol building, Washington, and everything, but they don't ever get into like the monumental construction that would have had to have taken place. I mean, Washington, D.C. was like swamp.
Yeah, we got the Hollywood version with this, the old Wild West and the spaghetti westerns and all that kind of stuff, right? This is probably a good time for me to shamelessly plug my new book that's soon to be released. Yeah, there.
Oh, nice.
It just came in actually while we were chatting from Amazon.
Building in the old world, North America. Oh,
nice. Oh, sweet.
Nice.
Yeah, I figured I'd throw something together. I'll just show quickly. I'm usually not this shameless about things, but I guess I am today. So it's just really a collection of demolished buildings in North America, right?
Nice. I'm gonna have to get this.
Yeah. So it should be available soon, but that's my shameless plug for the session, folks.
Did you write all the text with it too, Chris?
No, it's really just basic, bare bones, built this time, torn down at this time.
Right.
Yes.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
How do I get this off full screen? I don't like that.
So where can we purchase this?
It'll be on Amazon.
Okay.
So I think I got it on for $17 Canadian, It should be available by the end of the week. But I'll throw a video on my channel once it comes out, and I think John Levi said he's going to give it a quick look too. So that would be huge for eyes on.
Nice. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, love John.
and he's a meltologist too. He sees it for sure.
Yeah.
I remember when
Absolutely.
he couldn't see it. I remember when he couldn't see it, and we were all waiting like for him to get it, you know, because he would look at it, he would say certain things, but he wasn't like ready to, you know, really dive into it. And to watch that transition of him go from, you know, one extreme to the other and full on meltology was amazing to see.
Yeah, I talked to him about when he found that brick. There was a video a couple of years ago, and there was a brick under his feet, and that was
in the middle of nowhere.
In the middle of nowhere.
Yep.
I was watching it when it
Nowhere, literally nowhere.
And that was it. And I was like, how it's undeniable, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
For sure. You want to keep going, or should we call her? How are you guys feeling?
Whatever
I
you
have
need.
a couple of little things I could show really quickly.
Share screen.
Okay, let me get into this.
And I'm glad you joined us here today, Gentoo, and it's great to meet
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for
you.
having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Not to take you for granted, Mark, but sorry.
I just love hanging here with y'all.
I'm Canadian. I apologize for everything. You know, so.
All right, so there is a geologist here in this little clip that I'm going to play. I just want you guys to hear out of his own mouth, the geologist's mouth, about this mountain. Because people are like, oh, mountains are not buildings. Mountains are not melted buildings. How can a mountain be a building? Well, this guy here even says that this mountain, this particular one at this site, is a building. So we're just going to listen to this real quick. Bang this out.
Of Danny Hillman, Natawi Dahaja. A few years ago, the Gunung Padang site was once again scrutinized by a scientist. When geologist Danny Hillman Natawajana saw the pictures of the site, he immediately noticed that the hill of Gunung Padang absolutely did not fit into the picture of the rest of the site. Danny Natawajana intuitively saw at once what had remained hidden from all the other scientists.
I'm going to pause it right there. He saw what remained hidden from the rest of the scientists there. He saw it, just like we see it, guys. But if you don't have the eyes to see it, it will remain hidden. I'm just saying. I'm going to continue.
Until then, Gunung Padang was not just a collection of megaliths on a natural hill. The geologist immediately suspected that the entire mountain had been the construction of humans.
Boom, baby. The entire mountain has been the construction of humans. So if anybody tells you mountains are not man-made, mountains can't be buildings and all this stuff, I have a geologist right here who's admitting that this area here is a building. And I just found that recently, so that's why I like to show it, and I've been showing it lately on my shows and stuff. And then I have this right here, which is from History Mysteries. I put it up on my channel. Here they're going to talk about this site in South America. I think it's the Incas, maybe. But anyway, they're showing that the wall is melted. So let me go back a tiny bit here, and you can see what this guy's saying. Just a little bit more. Sorry. Right here.
To be found anywhere in ancient Peru. This area of stone is not merely vitrified, but was, at some point within the distant past, turned to lava. With the limited investigations available, predictably none of.
So they're saying right here that this thing has been, well, he didn't say melted, but clearly it's melted, right? And then we have other people saying, well, how can a rock, this wall here that's clearly built turn into just like regular old rock? Well, here you can see it. You can still make out the corners on this one right here in the middle of the melt and all through here. Something not only melted the whole site, but these particular spots got hit extra hard, because I feel like these polygonal shapes that you're seeing were not carved out by man, but they were the end product of the heat event that took place that wound up having this polygonal look to it and stuff, like a puzzle piece. They all came together. And Shapu and I have showed this all on our shows about the grain growth, the sintering, and what could possibly be causing this megalithic polygonal look. But underneath of it all, at the end of the day, is brick. And you can kind of make a brick out right here. I'll try to see if I can zoom in on that. See that little red brick right there, right here? Underneath all of this, which is actually outer casings, is red brick. But let's get back into it.
Funded academics, it has been revealed that this mysterious event did not occur as one would have presumed from a.
Okay, this is important. Pay attention here, guys. This guy's telling you exactly where the heat came from.
Heating from above, but from beneath, or perhaps from within the center of the stonework, successfully melting the stone wall in its entirety.
So you see, he said the heat came from below and or within the structure itself that caused this. I'll go back and play it again. Let's go back a little bit more. Okay, here we go.
Mysterious event did not occur as one would have presumed from a heating from above, but from beneath, or perhaps from within the center of the stonework, successfully melting the stone wall in its entirety.
Boom, baby. Okay, so there's that. So what's a mountain? Everybody's all, bitching and complaining about mountains. Oh, you're saying mountains are buildings, mountains are melted buildings. Well, what is a mountain? What is a mountain? A mountain, the word mountain itself is a descriptive. It's a mountain of mud. It's a mountain of money. It's a mountain of shit. Whatever you want to say. A mountain is a descriptive word. So let's look it up. What do they have to say? Encyclopedia Britannica, right here. Mountain, landform that rises prominently above the surroundings, generally exhibits steep slopes, a relatively confined summit. Okay, I see that, yeah. And considerable local reliefs. Mountains are generally understood to be larger than hills, but the term has no standardized geological meaning. Has no standardized geological meaning, guys. So what is a mountain? Is it a mountain of melted buildings? I think so. Just saying. All right, so then there's this other site here about our planet. Is there a standardized definition for mountain? Is there? Well, we just read that, right? Again, it says here. Here's the whole thing here. I just read it on the other one too. And then, but the term has no standardized geological meaning. None. Boom, baby.
That's the only one they didn't describe, right?
Right.
Okay, so here we're in Pompeii. They tell us that Vesuvius exploded in 79 AD and buried Pompeii and Herculaneum under volcanic ash. And this is what destroyed the cities. I would have to call bullshit on that narrative because I've already broken down Vesuvius. Okay, and we're going to go there. We'll go there.
Melted.
Melted as fuck. Okay, guys. Pompeii and Herculaneum were beautiful brick cities. Everything was made of brick. The streets, the sidewalks, the houses, everything. The columns, they all had coatings over them, whitewash, plaster on the outside. Now, here's one of the streets in Pompeii. You can see that what they tell you is volcanic rock that they put down on the center of the streets is actually just melted brick, because you can see it right down here at the below on this part of the screen. You can make out the bricks. And then what happens is that because the heat's coming up from the bottom, the street is the lowest point in the city, as you can see here. So the street is getting the most of the heat while the rest of the stuff is cooking as it's rising up, but the heat is still churning up the street as well. So you see that it becomes this like spread out kind of weird looking melted into each other kind of blocks in the street, and they call it volcanic rock that they use. That's just a lie. They're just covering up the fact that it's melted brick, and you can make the brick out right here at the bottom on the screen. On this side of the screen here, we see very strange, weird bricks like Mark was showing. But as you move down through this wall, it gets all janky and weird rock. Okay, the sidewalk's completely cooked out, and then we get down to these pillars right here, which are beautiful brick. Still intact. You can still make it out really good. But then the next wall over is janky, weird rock. So do you think that they built it like this? No. They clearly did not build it like this. That's absurd. But let's take a look at another street here. This is a little bit better one. Again, you can see here on this part of the street, you can make out the bricks, right? But as you move down the street, it's all melted into itself. So it looked like bigger chunks of block that they use, but that's not the case. It's just the melt that's taking place here. Also, you can see the sidewalks had a covering over them, just like the sidewalks in old parts of your cities as well, the colonial parts of your city. Like if I type in Old Town Philly, where I'm from, let's look at their streets. Okay, let's go to images, because I don't think Old Town Philly is any I don't think Pompeii is any older than Old Town Philly or any of the streets that are in our in our towns and stuff.
Mhm.
Okay, so look, here you go. This is just like Pompeii. You got the brick sidewalks. You can still see the brick here. Here's some of it they paved over. You can see that the sidewalks running down the street have a coating over them. Underneath this coating is brick. And then you could also see that the street is brick. The houses are also brick as well, just like Pompeii, just like Herculaneum. And just like any town in your area where you can go down and look at these old streets and stuff, you can see they're exactly narrow streets, brick streets, brick sidewalks, brick house, brick steps, and some of them have these coatings over the sidewalks. So let's go back over here to Pompeii. See the coatings over the sidewalks? See the brick sidewalks are brick and the houses were brick. This janky rock here did just not appear out of nowhere. It transformed from beautiful brick like this right here into this janky weird rock because that's where the heat attacked it more than the columns over here. Now, how that happens, I don't exactly know. But the evidence for it that it did happen is right there. Right there. You can't miss it.
That was nicely done, Jen.
Yeah.
I'd like to say the way you made that comparison. Yeah, very helpful.
Yeah, because it's important for people to see that what we're actually looking at here. And then I wanted to take you over to Vesuvius real quick. As you can see here on my Google search, I typed in Vesuvius mineral layers. That's it, Vesuvius mineral layers. The first picture right here that comes up that I click on it. Examine these pictures with a magnifier and really go over them. There's something very interesting in these supposed mineral layers of Vesuvius, which just happen to look like brick layers, right? Right here next to this alame that they slapped on here that was never there before, you could see a very ominous, very strange, out of place area right here in the said sedimentary layers. If you look closely and get a magnifier out, you can see that this is a statue head right here embedded in the sidewall of Vesuvius, right here. You can see it's embedded because you can see there's an outline around it. It's a face that's facing the Y. You can see the nose, the mouth, and the lips. Looks like some kind of neck. And this also looks like a bent over knee right here, but it's all melted and muffed up. I think there was probably some type of statue or statuesque kind of scene maybe that was in this building.
And this is in the volcano.
This is inside the interior walls of Vesuvius, said mineral layers, yes.
Wow.
And there's a statue head right there with what looks like a knee bent over right here. There's also possibly the rump end of a bull right here next to the A. The tail is kind of pointing at the A. The head's all obliterated out. This whole area is anomalous compared to all this over here. Was this some kind of statuesque kind of scene? Well, buildings had statues in them. We know that from the old world. Clearly, Vesuvius was a building because volcanoes don't have statues.
They don't have bricks either.
Right, and look at all these brick layers. So it's not hard to find. If you type in Vesuvius mineral layers, it's the second picture in. If you do it on a Google search, some searches won't bring you up these pictures if it's on Microsoft or something like that. But it's usually the first or the second picture. And this is Vesuvius. It's all melted. It was a building of some sort of tower of some sort. Maybe Babylesque in nature. I don't know. I think there was more than one Tower of Babel for sure. Even in the etchings and depictions of Babel, they always seem to show other towers in the distance. Maybe not quite as large as the Tower of Babel, but comparison somewhat in size. I didn't mean to click on that. Okay, so I got that, and I did that. I'm just to make sure I hit all my tabs here. Okay. Yep. All right, so that's like my super fast presentation. I'm done.
That was great.
Awesome stuff.
The comparison of those
boom baby
rows were really good, Jen. Yeah, love that.
Thank you. Yeah. The dates are all off. These are not ancient cities. Vesuvius isn't even on the maps before 15. It's not even until the late 1700s Vesuvius comes on the map.
Yeah.
How do you miss Vesuvius?
Yeah,
you can't miss Vesuvius.
Exactly.
Mount Fuji's not in Japan. It's a well-known, iconic mountain, if you will, that everybody recognizes. Fuji's not on the 1587 Montebano map. It's not on.
Oh, yeah. Really? That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Vesuvius. And it should be.
Very interesting. You were talking about the polygons. This is in India again. You can see them here as well.
Yeah.
Blocking up, right?
Yeah.
And then the heat, what were you calling that earlier? With the the texture to the face of
Oh,
these?
it's called sintering and grain growth that takes place with a heat differential that's taking place as well in these specific little locations and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This heat, okay, when you look at a road and it's really, really hot out and you see down the road and you see those wavy lines coming up off of it.
Yeah.
They're not straight lines. They're wavy, which means there's a heat differential. There could be wind at that end of the road blowing through the heat to cause that waviness, which means one little wave might be one temperature. The other little part of the wave might be a slightly different temperature. These are called heat differentials, and they're going to have different results on whatever it might be attacking at the time.
Very interesting. Yeah. Thanks for that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going back through my stuff here. We'll keep the party going. I'm enjoying myself, so if you guys want to stick around, let's keep going.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is that area in Germany, France-Germany border again. They must have bombed a lot of this during the war, some of these areas too.
Oh, yeah.
Try to muddy up the waters a little bit on us.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why I think North America is so special, is because we don't have that narrative to screen our vision. We just have a very weak backstory on the history here and a short timeline.
Yeah, very weak. Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks like some cross-bedding sedimentary layers there mixed with brick.
Well, look at that.
Yeah,
gotta
what
love
is that?
You gotta love that, eh? Yeah.
Let's call up some geologists and fire their asses.
I mean, this picture alone needs to be investigated in those circles. Like, come on, guys. How do you explain? I know how they'll explain it. They'll say that they came here and filled this out so they could.
And
have
they lifted up that sedimentary layer.
Well, how? Yeah, how they do that? Where they put the scaffolding? Where they stand? You got to put scaffolding up. You got to stand somewhere. Where they? No way. Give me a break. There's no way.
And then they put these little slots in here to look like windows, but they weren't functional.
Yeah, they look cute. Just to look cute. Yeah. No way.
That's to climb up on. You had to climb up and then chisel, climb up, chisel, brick.
Oh,
yeah, I hope you don't fall.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love it.
I think geologists who do question this are just told to be quiet if they want to keep their job. Definitely, because at some point you have to come across a tranny brick, and you see the transition right into what's supposed to be natural millions of years old. And at some point, you're going to have to ask a question to somebody. They're probably going to tell you to shut up.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of people keeping their mouth shut to keep their job, right?
Yeah.
It's an all across disciplines, not just geologists. Mm-hmm. Leave it there. But yeah, this might be Iran again. Just devastated.
I'm going to drop my new channel in the link here. I think there's people that were subscribed to my other channel and it got taken down in September and I had to make another one. So maybe they're not subscribed to this new one.
Okay, yeah. And I'll add you to the description on this video too. I had a couple on there. Yep.
Guys, please sub and bell my channel and share it wherever you can. Thank you.
And I hope this conversation opens the door to future chats with all of us, you know.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yes, I'd love to.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. More of those polygons there, Jen.
Mm-hmm.
Right, 6-sided here. This one's a bit wacky.
Oh, they can't even put a piece of paper between it. They're so tight. That's because it was solidified in the melt this way. It would be quite a feat for them to try to destroy this stuff, to get rid of it. Some of it they can't, and they have to just give it these ancient megalithic narratives.
They can't. They can't destroy it. They'd love to, I'm sure. But and then we were told it was only in Peru, and then they started finding it all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, everywhere. Like, Italy, France. Yeah.
They're playing catch up with the narrative, constantly playing catch up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spain. Right. This just went blah. You can see. Yeah.
Yeah. And where they stand, they put the scaffolding up for the structure. There's nowhere to stand down there. You got to stand somewhere to put the scaffolding up.
Yeah.
That's very true.
They stood on the donkeys.
Right? You have to. There's no way.
Yeah, it's completely illogical, right? Isn't it? It's funny how you get the different colors too in different regions. It seems the heat may be affected differently, and you
Yes,
get
yes.
you know, like look at this as a 90-degree just until there, and then it becomes, I'm not sure what that is, rounded. Some red brick in there if we look closely,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It sure gives you a strong knowledge of areas of the world too. This is in Spain again too. They have all these weird anomalous. These are in Germany and Czech Republic. They have a lot of these types of areas, parks, with these strange shaped structures like this. And people walk through, and there's a dinosaur, plastic dinosaur over there, that's 2 meters high, and they have a narrative for you to believe. And
Yep, they slap a plaque on it and walk away.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You'd be surprised. I was telling you guys earlier about how I do that, how I search for some of these on the Google Maps. And often when I find this evidence, very nearby, very close, it is a dinosaur exhibit or a caveman or cave paintings. Cave paintings is a big one as well.
Yeah.
Diversion.
Yes.
The cave painting narrative, I think, is all bullshit.
I don't buy it. No.
No. A Darwinist forgery, I think, is what they said it was initially. You know, but and what do they say, that they disintegrate once they've been discovered? They start to lose their, you know, they're like very sensitive areas. You can't go around. You can't expose them to light. Can't take pictures. Like that's convenient. You know, look at
Even the ones on the outside, like in Utah and stuff, on sides of walls and stuff. I just think they're all, everywhere you look across the plane, they're so similar. It's like the same person drew all of them.
Yeah, like it was an agenda. It's a false narrative.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's what the Hudson's Bay Company was doing, right? Going around early, scratching stuff into rocks and paintings.
You know, it sounds crazy. Why would they do that, to just fake a narrative to well, look, they're faking space every day. They're doing it right now. They're teaching it to your kids and everything. Look at how hard and long they've been faking space.
Yeah. They had to distort our reality, right? Our perception. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
India. So many of these. Look at the little top here. Little dome top here.
Mm.
Right.
Oh wow.
I know.
There's no question. There's no question.
It's nothing
And
natural.
I know these other people can see it. The people who are the naysayers and stuff, they have to see it. I mean, how could they not? I mean, we show so much proof, and that just leads me to think that a lot of these people could be possibly gatekeepers, or I don't even know what else to say about it, because, you know.
Oh, I'm sure there's gatekeepers. I think you're bang on. I don't know if all of them. Some people are just naive and don't want to know, but I'm sure there's gatekeepers that in the know, as they say.
Yeah.
That's why there's censorship involved with this wacky theory that we have here online. We're all just a bunch of crazy wackies, right? Why would you censor us then?
Yeah.
Let us speak. Let us look crazy and stupid.
You should be promoting those.
Right, we're the crazy ones. Yeah.
Exactly. Push the narrative on us. Makes us look stupid, right? Right, yeah.
Wow.
That same area, right, in France.
So there's sedimentaries there, and then brick, and then sedimentary on the top. How does that happen?
Right up top here, the cap, yeah. The wall dies into the rock, as they say. They blended these bricks in perfectly along this ledge. And then we have an arch over here that we're not sure what it's made of. Somewhere in between.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the plaque, though. That'll tell you exactly what's
right
going on.
there.
And you know what? Most of these are going back to the 1300s. Some sort of fort that was constructed and built upon and attacked and built upon again and attacked. It's most of the narrative for a lot of these red ones from that France region, anyway. You see on the very top too. I didn't even see that. A little bit more wall. Yeah. I'm really pleased to be able to share this with you guys. Your keen eyes.
Yeah, I love it.
Thanks for being
Oh,
here.
this is
Hey, thanks for having this stream.
Thank you.
Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
great.
This was fun. Yeah.
You get new eyes on it too, even through your channel. Even though you talk about it some, I love it. Thank you so much.
It's important, right? Like we have the buildings that are intact, that are a mystery, and then we have the melted realm, the post-cataclysm world. Yeah. And they're attached. They're all part of the same story. Yeah.
Yep.
And we want the truth, don't we?
Wow.
Yes.
Want to solve these mysteries? Yes.
We're hungry for the truth. That's all it is. Yeah. Oh, that thing's obliterated.
That's a really good one.
Yeah. That's a little red, a perfect little red one here. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
One of my favorites, this one. Well, same, it's from that same area, right? But
Mid tower melt. I call that mid tower melt. makes no sense.
Love it. I love it.
You can see it's shifted over too. It's like turned. The top of it looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a
little spindle move.
And then it solidified again, and it stood for since the event, remained standing. You can see the bulging going on here. You can see it going up the corners. Interesting too. More going up the corner here. Can you see the holes in each of these as well?
Yes.
I find that's interesting too, and it's unique to this area from what I've seen.
Yeah, I've never really seen anything like that.
Yeah.
No.
It's interesting.
Could be for scaffolding. I'm not sure.
No, you know what I think it is? I think it's for the exterior molding that was on top of the bricks, maybe.
Like something was tied to it and held to it.
No, like Legos. It's snapped on.
Sure.
Like into these
like
holes.
a facade fastened into it.
Yes.
Somehow.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a good call. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh man, look at this.
I like to gather the conclusive ones, the ones that it's hard to rebut,
Yeah.
Yeah, like this. Yeah.
Like when you have the eagle eye, you see it everywhere, and then some people will be like, "Well, no, that just looks like a mountain." It's like, well, because you don't really know what you're looking for. But
Yeah, and I'd say, well, what's a mountain? Because it has no standardized geological meaning, and then they just look at you like, what?
Yeah.
It's like these kind of pictures, you could say, all right, we'll go to court, supposed court, whatever, and you present your theory and I'll present mine and see who wins.
Yeah.
In theory, so.
Yeah. You make a good
No other better explanation for it, really, at all.
And then a panel of your peers can judge the evidence and see what's obvious and what's not. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the whole Indian coastline along I guess it would be the west side of India, has these forts in the water.
Mm-hmm.
These massive fort islands, basically, in the water. This is interesting what's happening here, though. There's a bit of the blocking turning into the larger blocks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
You know how if you stick a stick of butter in the frying pan and you watch it melt, that the bottom of that's touching the frying pan expands out and melts away.
Yeah.
This is what we're seeing at the base of these
That's
buildings.
good. Yeah, that's a good point. Even in a semi-solid form, right?
Yeah.
It goes from solid to semi-solid as it gets bigger before it actually liquefies. All right, this is that same area.
Wow.
I could go on forever here, guys, but
You know it, right?
Right. Yeah.
maybe I'll cut it off fairly soon. Anyone else have anything they want to throw in before we call it? I'm going for a bit now, so.
No.
Pearls of wisdom.
No.
Pants. Come on, man. Give me some of your taglines.
I encourage folks to get out there in your own city because you will find it. Try the waterways, look around the waterways and such, and see what you find. But I enjoyed this, Chris. Thank you so much for having me.
And I just want to say about your approach. And I just came across your channel recently. Ashley tipped me off to your work. There's something that draws people in that aren't into this research. Like I had it on in my living room, and the kids are drawn into it. There's something about the way that you present and the way you observe this evidence. Keep doing what you're doing, brother. Because your energy, you're bringing your energy to it, and it's important for sure. So I
Yeah,
appreciate
great
you as well.
energy, like Chris
Yeah.
said.
I appreciate that, guys. Thank you.
Much love. Yeah. Jen,
Much
thanks for
love.
being here today.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me. This is great.
Nice to finally meet you. I've been checking out a lot of your broadcasts throughout the years. Actually, you're one of the early ones I came across as well. So
Oh, that was
nice
like
to
5
meet you.
channels ago.
Yeah, they're all
Yeah,
over you.
right.
They're all over you. Yeah, but I appreciate you being here, and Mark, of course. Chris, it's been a blast, and
Yeah,
here's to many more of these in the new year, guys. Let's keep our eyes together, our eyes on the ball together, and we'll unearth we'll get closer. We'll get closer.
yeah, definitely.
All right.
Yes, we
We're
will.
getting closer, a lot closer in just a couple of years, or just a year. I mean, it's progressing. We're creeping up slowly.
You can feel the
we're all-
momentum. You can feel it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then to everybody in the chat and everybody watching, I just want to say thank you for being here today. It's great to have you join us. And until next time, all the best.
Thank you.
Take care.
Peace out. Much love, everybody.